at my dog, by the way.
Don't worry about your dog. Let him bark. That's what I say. The dog.
Let him bite as well. Don't let him bite. Don't let him bite. That's something. Don't let him bite.
Nah, she'd never do that.
Rudiger, I think women Rudiger could teach each other a little bit tonight. Anyway, people, welcome to United Real Therapy. There we are. Absolutely, what's been a tremendous match tonight. An absolute high-quality game that was. Levels of intensity. Germany versus France. What a game that was. Probably one of the best games of the Euros, I think. Even though it was a 1-0 game. But the levels of intensity was high tonight. The level of play was high. I thought the Germans were unlucky. But anyway, I'm joined by wonderful people here. Joined by from to my right or to my left, I think, Rachel, and then Saeed along, and then we got Lammy here on the Zoom. I'll be getting into Lammy in a minute. Mundo, it was like lamb to the slaughter. That was what was Rudiger doing tonight. I thought that he's thinking Paul Pogba's back was a piece of lamb. That's what he was thinking. Trust me tonight. But anyway, welcome people. Welcome to every one of you. We just finished the watch along on Saeed's channel. Obviously, we're up to road to 40,000 on there, people. So welcome. Man. Welcome to United Real Therapy, people. So go on. I'm going to start Mundo at the bottom. Mighty Mundo, talk to me. What did you think of that game? And how did you see it? How did you see the first half? How did you see the second half? And do you think it was a fair result?
I think overall it was a fair result, considering France had 2 goals ruled out. Albeit they were rightly ruled out. But France probably created better opportunities. And the first half, France seemed to press quite high up the pitch. Mm-hmm. Second half, they were quite deep, quite negative. Mm-hmm. And that allowed the Germans to come onto them. But it was a very, very interesting game. Germany's 2 wing-backs, I don't know why they didn't start attacking until like the final 30 minutes. When they pushed up the pitch, they started creating problems. But for 60 minutes, they did nothing. Mm-hmm. Kimmich is wasted, I think, out there as well. I think he should be in central midfield. But and I don't like the shape as well, the German shape, the 3 at the back. I'm not a fan of that either. But both teams, yeah, man, they're just the best teams I've seen so far. And I can't see anyone but France, man, just because of one man, and that's Mbappe. That kid is just phenomenal. Different
gravy, innit?
What he did to Hummels, oh my goodness me. He gave him like a 15, 20-yard head start and still roasted him. And Hummels was lucky. He was lucky. But that kid, and I think France, them bringing Benzema back into the fold, that is a big plus for them, because in second half, he was almost like a 10. He drops up. He's good at linking up the play. I mean, Giroud's good at linking up the play, but not like Benzema. He's more mobile, and also he's more of a goal threat as well. And when he drops deep, that leaves gap space and allows Mbappe to exploit those spaces and get found by Pogba and people like that. So, and then you've got Griezmann putting in a shift. They're a strong team, France. They're a very, very strong team. I can't see any flaws in their team at all, from back to front. I think they're the most complete team and squad in the tournament. But, you know, they were favourites in 2016, weren't they? And look what happened then. So it's too early to say who's going to win. But the game today, France just showed. And I think France still had levels to go up as well. Mm-hmm. They played like maybe in third gear. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So overall, good game. Hopefully more of that to come.
Mm-hmm. Lammy, what did you think of the game? Obviously, other than your boy Rudiger getting a bit of Suarez-titis, you know what I mean? Contracting mid-game, you know what I mean? Started thinking about Suarez.
Yeah.
Like people, you know what I mean? Honestly.
No, I think, do you know what? I think Rudiger's still high from that Champions League win, you know? I'm not going to lie, because, man, he was moving beastly on that pitch. Yeah, I think that mentality's still there, do you know? And I don't know, maybe you're right. Maybe he skipped dinner. I'm not too sure about that yet. But, yeah, that was a bit mad. That was very, very mad. I think partly it's to do with frustration as well. I know people are kind of blaming him for the goal, but it was an own goal. Like, it happens. Maybe, again, his positioning could be a bit better. But, you know, he's done this at Chelsea. Like, I've seen it happen. Like, I'm not going to lie, under Tuchel, it almost evaporated. It's almost like he conditioned it out of him. But, you know, under lesser managers, we can see a some old habits starting to come back. I think in terms of all my Chelsea boys on the German side, I was quite disappointed. Poor Havertz looked a bit lost out there today as well. I can tell he's kind of trying, but he's fumbling his feet a bit. Like some of the balls played were not great. But even Germany, if you think about it, you could have given them another 45 minutes, another 90 minutes to play, and they probably still wouldn't have scored because them final balls were absolutely terrible. Like Muller was stinking the place up. Like he was. I think that was bad decisions calling him up to the squad. I think he's done. He's really, really done out here as well. And I can't really disagree in terms of France being favourites. Because even if you look at the bench, just listen to this. It's what? Lamar, Digne, Coman, Koundé, Giroud, Dembele,
Unbelievable.
It's ridiculous, and that's just their bench. Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought Kante, of course, was phenomenal. Does what Kante always does, and I have to say, yeah, France have the best midfield pivot in the whole entire world in Pogba and Kante. And I'm gonna get onto Pogba because Pogba, I think, was my man of the match today,
and Rabiot as well. He was good, I thought, today.
Rabiot was good as well. I think Germany did play. I'm going to agree with what Mundo said. Germany played themselves a bit by having Kimmich so far out wide. He should have been in the center because there was nothing going through in the middle. Honestly, and even when Emre Can come back on as well, I was just like, that's just I don't understand. I think that was the time when who went off injured? Was it Ginter?
The one who got concussed.
Ginter.
No,
Yeah.
actually,
Ginter for Germany, not Pavard, not the head injury.
Pavard got concussed.
Yeah, when Ginter come off and Emre Can went on, I thought that's the time you move Kimmich back into the centre. Do you know what I mean? But again, poor management, and this is why people were criticising this manager a lot, and this is why maybe Germany might not be expected to do so well in this competition, not because of the players, but the manager, because individually there's some brilliant players on this squad, but the link up, and again, everybody stopped getting onto Timo because he came on too late. There's nothing he could do. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he was non-existent, but where was the service? There was really no service coming in. It's just whipping balls aimlessly into the box. Even when they had like hella corners, nothing was coming from them as well. So I'm really disappointed in terms of Germany as well. I think they don't. Is Portugal their next game or is it Hungary?
It's going to be Germany, Portugal. Tasty.
And they're coming off a 3-0 win, so
yeah, it's going to be different gravy, different sauce, because Germany have to go for it. Here we go. Sube says in the super chat, nice one, brother. If United had their shit together, they would have closed the deal on Varane tonight. I personally think it's between Varane and Pogba tonight. Who's man of the match for France?
Excellent.
For France, because I thought Varane was absolute leader, absolute beast tonight. The block, the shots, everything, getting his toe in there, the timing, knowing what
we need him. We need him.
Listen, I thought we need him. But you know what? Are you gonna come to Toxic FC or what? You know what I mean?
You're not.
Listen, I'll come to you, Rachel. What did you think about the game? And was it where he just too gassed up enjoying the game, or was the game intensity? Was it like a top tournament game? Did it live up to that billing in terms of the tactics, technically, the technical play that was going on, or was it just were we gassing it up?
Do you know what? Tactically, from Germany's point of view, I think it was wrong. As everyone said, I think the way they set up was really poor. I agree about the Kimmich thing. I think he's better in the middle. He didn't really, when he got onto the ball, especially early on, when he got in behind, he tried to drive in on the right side. I thought he was very, very good, but he just sort of stopped. And then, as Mundo said, they didn't start attacking again really consistently until the last 30 minutes. I want this Varane narrative where he needs Sergio Ramos to stop. I am tired of it. Like this whole, he's a pace merchant. He needs Sergio Ramos to play well. This is nonsense. This needs to stop right now because he is a very, very, very good defender and a good footballer as well. He's very, very good. I wanted him at United for so long. I hope we can get him, but I think he's going to PSG. I don't know, but yeah, I thought Germany they looked a little bit out of sorts of times.
A pace merchant.
Oh yeah, Jem did it as well, didn't he? Yeah, I thought Germany. I think they had moments where they got in behind France, but the final ball was poor. And France just allowed them to have the ball for about 20 minutes in the second half. They just sort of sat back. They were compact. They didn't allow Germany to play through the middle at all. So Thomas Muller just couldn't do anything. And yeah, it wasn't easy for France, but I think they were just comfortable. And yeah, I thought they were very, very good, France, and they managed the game well, and that tells you a lot about the experience they have in their team. How they managed the game, they knew when to attack, they knew when to sort of sit back and just chill. No one had to tell them; they just knew what to do. They have the experienced players in there, so that's why France are favourites right there. They have the quality, they have the experience, they know how to manage games. That's how you win tournaments. So I would be very surprised if they, got knocked out early or anything like that. I thought, yeah, this is the France that you expected. I know a lot of people said they were boring, but in tournament football, it's not about playing the flashiest football, As long as you've got the quality in the right moments and you manage the game well, you'll win the game. So I think France were very, very good today.
Guys, there's almost 50 or 40 of you in here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Join the Therapy Army. We've got a wonderful guest tonight. A proper analysis on this show. That's what you're getting. Saeed, I'm going to come to you last. I've been with you most of the day, haven't I? I watched the half with him with the Portugal game, and then watched the Germany-France game. A lot of people obviously coming for your boy Muller. You know what I mean? He's got me on camera. Me saying Muller is done out here.
I told you, man.
To go.
Well, Muller, tell the context of the story. Tell the context of the story.
When Muller was injury prone, right? And when Muller was in and out of the Bayern Munich team, they were linked to Man United. Obviously, all dead, all like pensioners in it. Simmerfrain FC in it. That's what I call Man United.
He was 29 at the time. He was 29
that retirement, that nice, lovely, shiny. Actually, it's not even shiny anymore. It's like full of holes in it. Leaking roofs and all that. That retirement home, that is Old Trafford. Obviously, every man and his dad's army are linked with.
Look at him, he played 90 minutes, didn't he? Did he not play 90 minutes?
Yeah, he played 90 minutes, but obviously it's not just me. It's Rachel and Lammy both said that he didn't have any smoke. He wasn't smoked tonight, and I did say, to be fair, when I did the preview, I did say that bringing him and both of them back and integrating them back into the team is going to take. Should have been maybe done a couple of months ago, 6 months ago. True. Obviously, it's been a mad Rona. Obviously, Corona's been a madness. So. It's the way he's done it last minute. But Saeed, talk to us. Talk to us about the Muller, obviously. Talk to us about the game. What you thought about it?
For me, I thought it was a very tactical game, man. You know what I mean? A lot of people say these kind of games are boring, but I think when you have two good teams, it's very difficult to be back and forth. You know what I mean? When in reality, you've got players that cancel each other out, especially in the midfield. I thought they cancelled each other out very well, but I think it was a tale of two halves. I think France dominated the first half. Second half, Germany got into it. But like Azimundo says, too late. Again, why did they persist with the wing backs? I think it wouldn't surprise me if, what would I call it, Germany go back to a 4-3-3 for the next game. They have to. They can't play 5 at the back against Portugal. It's impossible. Ronaldo, and for me, Bernardo Silva and whoever will get in behind and cause them absolute madness problems. So for me, when I look at it, right, I just look at the substitutions. I think the right back, what's his name, Kimmich, he needs to be playing more in the midfield. For me, he's more combative in there. He could have got around Pogba today. Pogba was allowed to look up and dictate the play. So I think that was a choice that happened. But again, man, Germany are not blessed with fullbacks, though. Who could have they brought in? I don't know why the whole of Germany, they don't have that much fun in fullbacks. Or maybe the next generation might come in. I don't know, people, but I thought France just about deservedly won the game. And I thought that was a penalty. I don't know about you guys here, but Hummels never got the ball. I don't know why this notion of Hummels got the ball. Hummels fouled Mbappe. You know what I mean? And for me, it should have been 2-0 then. So, but it was a good game, and I liked it, man. That, for me, hopefully that can continue because I see too many teams sitting back. So hopefully, Wales-Turkey game tomorrow, I can't wait for that one because they have to go at it. Now teams have to say, you know what, we're going for it now. And we could see one of the best tournaments, you know what I mean, for it to come.
Yeah. Just to give my analysis of the game, actually, you know what? At the beginning of the season and the preview, most of Rachel, Lamy, Saeed, we were all on the preview, and I was saying that I don't give Germany any chance at all. Actually, I was proving wrong, and I've got a lot of people in Germany in it, so I'm going to make apology to Germany. I thought you were done out here, me personally. I think you were done out here. And tonight, actually, you proved me wrong. Again, as soon as the tournaments come around, forget what they do in the qualifiers and the build up to the tournament. when the tournament comes, Germany turned up. I thought France would be levels above. I thought it could be 2. I predicted 2-1 because obviously it's the first game in the tournament, you know, between these two teams. But I was thinking at the back of my head, it could be 3 or 4 tonight because I don't rate, you know, the defense. I don't rate the German defense. And also, the way he plays Kimmich as a wing back, you know what I mean? But tonight, actually, I was quite surprised. I thought for the first 30-something minutes, it was France. France, you know, had the chances, opportunities, were creating. And obviously, in that there, it was impossible for Hummels to be able to defend that because he already knows Mbappe's behind him. And he has to play that ball. But it was a classic shinner, you know what I mean, onto the top corner. You talk about shinning it. Honestly, that was a classic shin right into the top corner to roof of the net. And I thought then, tactically, what happened, and obviously Germany then had to got obviously the grit between their teeth, literally thinking, you know what, we need to get back into this. And people are doubting us. And I'm one of their big doubters. I've been telling Aaron, you know, I mean, I told Aaron on his review that you're done out here. You know, I mean, you're going out in this group. You know, shout out to my boy Aaron out there, you know what I mean? But I've got to make an apology to the German nation. You know, I've been out there watching tournament football. I've got a lot of people I've got a love for in Germany. So I know how passionate they are. I thought after the last 15, 20 minutes in that first half, I thought tactically the German manager changed it. He changed it in a certain sense where he literally went brave. And I'm talking about brave. I don't see teams doing that against France where you literally, at times, they squeezed the play. So what they did was they pushed on, they started to press, and they started to hunt together as groups. There was, I kept seeing 3 or 4 hunting the ball down, really squeezing. Obviously, as Mundo said, as Rachel said, as Lamy said, obviously, psychologically, France are like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. That exactly, they've done that to Croatia in the World Cup. We're going to get that first goal, and then we're going to sit, and then we're going to hit you. That's what we're going to do. We're going to hit you. We're going to go ahead, and we're going to hit you and play to our strength. But I thought Germany squeezed the play. They made a couple of. I thought the best chances was in the first half. The chance that fell to Gundogan and the chance that fell to Gnabry. Was it Gnabry in the second half or was it the first half? I'm getting it confused.
Yeah, the pass that fell to Gnabry in the second half. Yeah, that
the second half. Yeah.
He miskicked it.
Yeah, I thought they were the 2 best chances, but I thought Germany give it, and I thought they had France on the ropes. But when you got France in the ropes, the level of quality is there. I thought Kimpembe, I thought Varane stood up tonight. I literally, honestly, those 2 look levels in terms of the centre-half performance I've seen in this tournament. I thought Pogba and Kante stepped up again. And I thought the 2, you know, the left back and the right back, both of them, it was quite surreal, actually, because parts of it was like the Chelsea team playing against each other and Bayern Munich team playing against each other. So it was quite surreal, actually, watching that game, because there was so many German, you know, connection, you know what I mean, German-French connection, where there's at Chelsea, where there's at Bayern Munich. And there was a lot of good battles in them. But the tactics, the way he changed as soon as Germany conceded, I've got to give Joachim Löw for that, because, and I actually think when he steps down at the end of the season, I think he's going to be a good coach. You know what I mean? For a club time. I think only time will tell. But in the second half, I thought Germany were better. They were better in the second half. Again, France were playing to their strength in terms of deeper. But I thought Deschamps was a coward tonight because Pogba only had Mbappe to hit. To me, the change should have been made. I didn't see Griezmann in the game other than the first 20 minutes in the game. I didn't see him in the game at all. I thought Benzema was isolated. And I thought it would have been either Griezmann or Benzema to take off. And I think Dembele should have come on. Dembele should have come on, because when you've got 2 speedy Gonzalez, right? When you got 2 kids that you got a rubber to burn, right? Pogba's got 2 options to hit, and you can't. No way would Germany have pressed so high up the pitch, because at times in that game I was seeing Germany playing, literally squeeze the play so much they were playing in 40 minutes from the French goal. Literally, like the game was all in the 40 minutes, and Rudiger and Hummels are that brave stepping up. And I was thinking, wow, that's bravery. So I give it up, because even though Hummels is slow, I give it up tonight. I thought it was done out here. I thought it was washed. But to me, that tackle, Saeed, I have to disagree with Saeed. I thought he won the ball there. He won the ball.
No, he didn't, Nuruddin. If you watch it again.
No, he showed it again. Listen, he showed it again. He literally tackled from behind. He's tackling from behind because he gets between the legs, right?
But he also fouls him in the process, though.
Yeah, but he touched the ball first. Some referees would have given it, some referees didn't. Yeah. And I'm glad that referee.
I watched the replay.
Allow Hummels. Kylian Mbappe is he's an actual rocket. He's a rocket. Like literally, what Mando said, he had a 15-second head start here, and he still caught him. He still caught him. That's mad.
You know what?
Ridiculous pace.
You know what? They got to VAR today at least, though, because I felt they managed it very well. In Europe, why is it that they manage it very well, but in the Premier League, it's very, very kind of controversial? Today, the replays respected it. Quick VAR, right, on your bike now. Get on with the game. In England, it's all carnage. Oh, what's going on? They surround the referee. Honestly, man, tonight, the English FA need to look at it, honestly, and see that the VAR, at least, nobody was bothered. Like obviously, Mbappe was like, what's going on? But because it's so intense, the game, and because the referee has it on point and he's so assured of himself, and they all work together, everyone just believes that, right, let's carry on with the game. But in England, it's like, bloody hell, go and get that linesman over there. Let's go and attack him. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Well,
It was like that all throughout Europe, though, wasn't it? Like every other league uses VAR to a much better level than the Premier League. It's ridiculous.
It's the standard of referees in the Premier League. That's the problem. It's not VAR. It's the people using it. That's the problem. Our referees aren't very good. They're not very decisive, and that's why they take 5 minutes to make a decision and then change their mind and flip flop all over the place. But I kind of see what Saeed is saying, because I was in two minds about that tackle, because it did look like Hummels played the man before he played the ball, just about. But I'll have to watch it again. But that's what it looked like when I watched it the first. Well, I've only seen it the once during the game live, and it looked like Hummels just about touched the man and played the ball. And if that was anywhere else on the pitch, the referee probably would have given a foul.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know what? Like I said, I can see why some referees would give it, but actually, for the game to be the fairness of him, I actually thought Hummels stood up to the task, because he must have watched man like Tuanzebe, you know what I mean? Man like Wan-Bissaka on for. He must have been studying that, you know what I mean? That's how you defend, you know what I mean? That's how you defend.
That's classic Wan-Bissaka, though.
You know what I mean? He must have watched Wan-Bissaka and thought, yo, I need to get my Wan-Bissaka head on tonight. So I think on the whole, Hummels played well tonight, on the whole, I think. And I think that he was unlucky with that goal, 100%. But, of course, people in the comments already hitting me up saying that, Varane, why would Varane come to Toxic FC, mate? Why would he come to Dividends FC? Why would he want to come to that when he can go to
Mention McTominay or Fred telling him, listen, get tracking back the defender. What you doing? Get over there, you. Listen,
that comment from Red Devil Studio, the comment from Red Devil Studio absolutely finished me. United fans, Varane, Sancho, Rice, the Glazers, Ben White.
Oh, he's not wrong, though.
It is, mate. Trust me, Ben White and Mings. Listen, I said it already. Mings, and Wings. That's what we're going for. We're getting the treble. Mings, Ing, and Wings, mate. Trust me. That's what we're getting.
Listen, man. You got the. I think there must be a bonus for the Glazers that if they get like a English pro rata, that they must get at least 10 million in the bank or something. It must be, because that's the only reason I can think of it. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
We are proper Brexit.
He ain't got that United DNA, innit? He's got that world-class DNA, but not that United DNA. But you know what? Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, Lambs. I've been a bit unsure, because I watched him City against Real Madrid, and he was a bit, last season. And I thought, you know what? Varane has not been, and he's not been fit, obviously, most of the season for Real Madrid. But tonight, trust me. And that's what world-class players, innit? When it matters, that's when they step up. But obviously, a lot of people in the comments were talking about Pogba's performance tonight. Roy Keane giving it some. Obviously, Vieira was there. Vieira was telling it as it is. And Roy Keane did admit as well, when Pogba's playing with the better players, he plays, his levels go up, innit? But, Lambs, obviously, you're not a United fan. All four of us here are United fans. But what did you think of Paul Pogba's performance tonight?
Honestly, the United fans, any United fans who've been disrespecting him, saying, oh, he should leave, like, oh, his heart's not in it. Who cares if his heart's not in it? He's one of your best players. If he leaves, you lot move down to Arsenal's level, mid-table club. Honestly, because if he goes, you think Bruno's going to stay? No, he's out the door too. Like that, and that's literally how it goes, because that's the standard that United have now set. Like, you can no longer attract big players. Now you're in danger of losing your best players. So, and again, I saw today, I was surprised because I was like, man is actually fast. He's got legs on him as well. And he was like I said, and especially in the second half, it suited them perfectly to just sit back because man was intercepting everything and spraying them balls to Mbappe. They absolutely destroyed them on the counter because Mbappe, Griezmann just start making the runs, especially Mbappe. Pogba looks up and he just springs that ball. You know it's getting to him. You know it's getting to him. So just brilliant moments. And again, he put them legs to use, honestly. And the technical ability, like, oh my God, Ollie is actually a criminal, seriously. The way he disrespects him, like, because he actually plays him so out of position, just to try and make it work. And it's just like, oh my goodness.
We don't have Kante. We don't have a Kante. We have McBride and Matic.
That is my thing. The whole club mentality. Like, this is why I understand Pogba's frustration, because he's been carrying this team and he's playing with mediocre players around him. So get him a quality DM in that pivot.
Can I just say something?
The levels will rise. The levels will rise.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Pogba when I go and play with France, or when he's come from Juventus and he's playing with them man in midfield, and he's going to France playing with likes of Kante in midfield, and then he goes back to United, and there's Scott McTominay in front.
Can I just say something? I think for me, when you look at it, I've always said this argument to people, and they've always said to me, what do you mean by the culture's not being right at United? I've always said for Man United, there's never ever been a system or a kind of plan for these big money signings. You know, when you look at the likes of Pogba when he came in, they brought Zlatan, Bailly, and I think it was Mkhitaryan. Like, they're all different players. It's like, Nuruddin said it on the podcast, you go and get a bottle of water, then you go and get a remote control, and then you try to fix them all together. That's what we've done. We've just literally got the pieces together and thought, right, when you're playing puzzle, and you're like, how sometimes, when you're playing the puzzle and you can't be bothered, you just start putting every other end, and you say, you know what, I'll put that one there, and I'll put that one there. By the end of it, you take more longer than if you were to put it properly and do it correctly. And I just think what Man United is at the minute, they've got Paul Pogba, but it's like they've got Ander Pereira, they've got Fred, they've got McTominay. They're not on his level. Today, he had Kante and Rabiot doing all the necessary dirty work that we don't associate with Paul Pogba. And for me, Man United, I've always said, you know what, he'll come in and he'll fix it. And then what has happened then is there's expectation for Paul Pogba, just because he costs 89 million, that the fans think, bloody hell, it's a waste of money, innit? But how can it be a waste of money when you go into a side that it's like, it's not made for you? Kevin De Bruyne. And people say to me, what about Kevin De Bruyne? When Kevin De Bruyne came into the football club, they got Bernardo Silva. They go and get Sterling, Jones. They literally bought every bit of the
puzzle. They already had a great squad before Pep got in there.
They
had a great squad.
Fernandinho, Yaya Toure.
Listen,
Gundogan came in the season after.
Let me tell you guys something. It's like getting a Formula One, right? Formula One car, and surrounding them with Nissan and Fiat Punto around them, mate. And then that's what it is. Let's get it right, people. It's getting a Formula One car, right? Top of the range Formula One car, and then getting a couple of Fiat Puntos and Nissan, and a couple of Micras around it, and then going, there you go, go on, have a race. That's what it is. That's what it is. And regardless how much it tries, the Formula One car ain't never gonna improve the pace of that.
Never.
That Fiat Punto. That Fiat Punto is never getting off. Never getting off. Ain't never going 0 to 60 or 0 to 70. Ain't never doing that. So that's what Man United are. And I already said Lambs, you know what, if Lambs was in court, she just read out the absolute sheet. That she just literally took Man United to court, crimes against football, right? And then so somebody in the comments here, he's already come out and said arrest Ollie. Crimes against football.
Can I just say something?
It was Mourinho as well. Yeah. I'm not
it's a lack of synergy, right?
Yeah.
Like, we looked at Liverpool when they won the Premier League. Their whole squad is not world class. They didn't even have a good bench. Let's be real, right? They had a few world class players, but it's all about synergy. It's about players that complement each other. So you don't have to bring in the best DM in the world. Like, we can't bring in Kante, for example. to partner Paul Pogba. So just bring in someone that can allow Paul Pogba.
He would never let you have him anyway.
No, but you know what I mean, though, right? It's all about synergy. It's about having a player that complements him and then having the forwards that complement him. Because a lot of the problem isn't just the midfield; it's the forward players, the lack of movement, the way they play, the way they wait for cutbacks and rather than make movements in the box, the lack of diagonal runs, all of that. And then you got the striker issue. Like Martial is fantastic with his link-up play, for example, but he lacks sometimes in the box. And then Cavani's great in the box, but then he lacks sometimes with his link-up play. There's no balance. There's no consistency with any of it. And it's not like, it doesn't look like we're even looking for the right profile of player whenever we go into the transfer market. It's like, oh, that person's popular. Why don't we buy him? It's not about, okay, what kind of player do we need in our team?
Can I ask, what's the point of United in the transfer market? Because I'm saying, like, for the last 2 to 3 years, it's been really, really pointless. It's been like, I've not, especially this last transfer window, there's at least 2 or 3 players that were bought that were hardly ever used this season. Why?
Again, yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
Tellez, Diallo.
Well, Diallo came in January and he's 18. So that one there is a bit,
6 months later, and he still wasn't even used, yeah? Because the people that came from...
No, but it's true, though. It's true. I know where you're coming from, Lambs, because I think what she's trying to get to, Rachel, is we bought Diallo, but then we're almost buying Sancho. You know what I mean? I understand Sancho is ready-made, but what was the whole thought process of going buying...
And Pellistri. You know I mean? Don't forget Pellistri as well.
Pellistri, you know what I mean? You bought 10 million for Pellistri, didn't we? You know, so again, it's the thought process is behind Man United trying to buy players. It's crazy. You know what I mean? It's for me. That's why I don't really understand it. You know, you got Daniel James. Are we going to get rid of Daniel James? Quan Matta's getting a new deal. You know what I mean? So everything for me. Yeah.
Wait, is that real?
Sorry?
Is that Juan Mata's
deal? Yeah. He's going to go get a new deal, yeah.
Yeah, you man are done out here. Sorry.
You're right there,
I don't understand it.
Unless he's offering him a new deal so they could try and sell him for some value or money. But if he's offering him a deal to stay, you man are done out here. I'm sorry.
He's worth nothing. He's like 80 years old. He's not worth anything. No one's going to buy him.
The problem with our squad, when you look at our squad of players, there's too many players where you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Like is McTominay a defensive midfielder or an attacking midfielder or number 8? What's Fred? Is Rashford a wide forward or a centre forward? What's Martial? We've got too many players where you're like, I don't know what you are. I don't know what type of player you are. It's just a mishmash of, it's just 8 years of just really shit recruitment and managers who are just, I don't know, it's like managers with different styles of play, wanting different players. And we've just spent so much money on garbage. It's embarrassing. How can we spend 100+ million on our defence? And I don't think there's one single Man United fan who will not say that we don't need to invest in our defence in the summer. And we've already spent 100 million plus on our defence. Fred cost us £50 million. 50 million we paid for Fred.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Definitely 47 mil. But if you round it up, it's 50 mil, yeah.
Yeah,
we round here.
What do you think of the game, fan? The France-Germany game?
I mean, to be honest with you, I was excited because I thought we were going to watch the first real game of the tournament. And obviously, like, this is the golden era of French football. They've got 2 free players in pretty much every position. So I was expecting a lot. But what I saw was slightly rusty, slightly tired players. Because you notice that the ball control, a lot of the passes were being straight, and it wasn't really there like it would. If you put those 2 teams at their peak, with full energy, you would have got a much better game. To me, Germany are a fading force. They just don't have it anymore. They don't have the guys. Whereas even Benzema and obviously Mbappe's the ace card in the team. The guy can do something from nothing. But, in the first half, they did what they needed to do. In the second half, they just sort of chilled a little bit and sort of let the pressure come onto them and then hopefully hit them on a counter-attack. If it wasn't for a little bit of sort of sharpness, the passes would have been passed earlier for Benzema and Mbappe. So it would have been a more comprehensive win. And let's be honest, I mean, France, I love watching France. If they could really, if you have a manager like Deschamps, I think they could be even better because, he's a bit of a defensive coach in many ways, but he's got the dream team. He's got the best players. it's going to take a miracle for not to lose because it's solid. Again, another clean sheet. So I don't think it was the best game, but it was good to see where we are with Germany. And because this is the group of death, isn't it? I mean, Germany, Portugal, and France in the same. I don't know who made this up, but maybe it was a reason to make the first round exciting. But I think France are going to get much better. I don't know where Germany are going to go because a lot of the players don't look like they're on form. 5 for me: Werner, Sane. None of them didn't have good seasons this year. The fact they got Hummels in defence as well, to me, is past it. So I don't see them doing any business. I think Portugal is going to beat them as well. So I think it's going to be Germany and France going to go. France and Portugal are going to go through. But I'm expecting a lot more from France because to me it's a golden team. Kante, Pogba. I mean, every way you look, really, it's a beautiful team. But I just want them to play with a lot more desire and heart and offensive ability like they got. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Irfan's getting a lot of love. Irfan, people are asking for you, saying, "Where's Mr. Rainey tonight?" Listen,
bro, I've been mixing tracks all day.
Where's my birthday mix? Right, he promised me a birthday mix.
No,
right?
Listen, I got a special 25-year party lined up, so keep it stoned, yeah.
Listen, he's been promised me a birthday mix, right? And I'm still waiting. The birthday was in March. I know it's a lockdown still, and I've been asking him to basically give me like that soulful house, vocal house, right, from the early 2000s.
Nuruddin. I'm finishing my Senegal first. Karim,
I'm still waiting.
You know how long it takes to make a perfect piece of music? Do you know how long it takes? It takes ages, bro. Look, I literally just finished 15 minutes ago. I thought, you're texting me shit. I need to get on the stream, seriously.
Yeah. Listen.
And you weren't even here for him when he arrived.
Yeah. Listen, let me say something, people.
I know I'm with good people.
Let me say something. Actually, I'm going to slightly disagree with Irfan's analysis, like I disagreed with some of your analysis, guys. I didn't give Germany a helling chance. I was like, Germany ain't doing nothing. You're done out here. I've been saying it to a lot of the Germans to their faces, FaceTiming my German buddies in Germany, letting them all know you're done out here, man. You're done out here. And actually, I was quite surprised the way they camped. I know aspects of it was the French tactics, to sit back and to soak it up and then hit them on the counter.
But only in the second half, only second half, really.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, in that last 15 minutes of that first half, I like the way they changed the tactics, where they squeezed the play. I have never seen a team press and squeeze the play as much. Like I am putting that caveat there that France allowed it to happen, but I have not seen. Hummels and Rudiger were passing the ball to each other 40 yards from the French goal. You know what I mean? It was just, I was like, wow. I was quite impressed. I think Germany have to 100%. They have to come out, and Portugal will be waiting, and it's going to be interesting because I think who's got that natural pace in the German, in German? Who's got that natural pace in the German? In the Portuguese team. Ronaldo doesn't have it anymore. Jota has a bit of pace over the top, but I think Germany have to go for it. 100% Germany have to go for it.
You also got Bruno Fernandes. Don't forget about him.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, it's an interesting.
He hasn't got pace.
How many of you actually?
He hasn't got pace.
He does. He definitely does. He can run. He's got technical, but he's pretty much the whole package, isn't it, Bruno?
All right. So Lami's giving us from because sometimes us United fans, we're all in our tunnel vision, didn't it, with our players, and that's why I like inviting a lot of different people to the channel, because I want to see different. Talk about our players and talk about other players with a different perspective. But let's go into that. How many of you guys watched the Portugal-Hungary game?
I watched pretty much 80 minutes of it, I reckon. I watched about 10 minutes of it.
What did you think of that game, Irfan?
It was a strange one because I'd never thought it was going to end 3-0. I was shocked when you look back at it and think 3-0 that. It was 0-0 after 85 minutes. 84. So it's crazy. So again, I mean, these first games I've seen where the teams are sort of like trying to gel. They're not gelled at all. They need more game time together. And that's what I'm seeing every team I see. They just need more time together. And look, it's been a long season. It's been a strange season. So I haven't seen magic yet. I haven't seen fluid, fast magic from anybody yet.
No, Italy. I've seen Italy.
Well, I don't know. I think that was a very poor Turkey team. I don't think that was the Turkey team that I remember from back in the day. It wasn't the Turkey that I know.
It was a very inexperienced team. Don't get it twisted. But still, I thought Italy, for me, I have never seen Mundo. Me and Mundo can tell you. Me and Mundo used to absolutely watch Italian football.
Yes, so did I. Yeah,
I have never seen Italy play like that. possession football, like almost like tick
Come on, Italia.
Yeah. Honestly,
No, listen, they've got the best. They've got the best forward line for ages.
Like
They've got the best forward line I've seen for ages.
it's not the forward line. It's the tactic. It's that tick-attack of football. Rachel was explaining it on the other night. Rachel, can you just explain a little bit more for the viewers? Me and Mundo, I don't know about Irfan, but me and Mundo have never in our lives witnessed, and me and him used to watch football religiously together. We have never watched Italy.
Oh my God.
Italy playing that. And anyway, shout out Deco here. Deco is just telling us it's the same Jose Fonte. You know, Fonte will bring that pace to Portugal against Germany. Yo, we got Fonte, mate. Fonte.
Nuruddin, wait a second. Before Rachel drops in, explain to me why Adama Traore don't get a game. Like for Spain, explain that one to me as well. There's another mad question for you.
To be fair, it's had a quite disappointing seat towards the end of the season. It was quite disappointing, but yeah.
Oh gosh.
They needed him, bro. Okay, on to Rachel. Sorry, I digress.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at the comment. Sorry.
Sorry, there's some people are just sad in life, man. So listen, man. It's so sad, man.
Mods, get on it. Deco, where are you, lad? Get on it, lad. Get on it.
Get on it,
Deco, I've
Deco.
already made you a mod, lad. Get on it. Mods, take care of these people, man.
Yeah,
They swam you like what's that? The guy Rudiger. They're trying to swam you, they're trying to swam you and eat you.
They always want to come here, innit? It's sad, innit? It's sad, but to me, it just shows you that we all of us live in their heads rent-free, innit? Always rent-free, innit? Water, the electricity, the gas bill. They're even paying for the holidays, you know what I mean? For my travels, I'm telling you. You know, I need a new bike. You know, they're sorting it out. Trust me. They're sorting it out. But Rachel, go on, Rachel. You were saying about Italy, the Italian performance. Oh,
yeah, no, I really enjoyed the performance because, as you know, I like possession-based football. I like the way they controlled the midfield. I thought Jorginho was excellent. I think Jorginho is really underrated by his own fans, to be honest with you. And by a lot of people, they don't seem to realize what his role is in the team, keeping things sort of ticking over, keeping possession. It is really important to keep possession. I get they're frustrated with the lack of sort of progressive passes that he makes at times. But when he does pull the trigger in terms of forward passes, he usually gets it right because he knows when to release the ball. And that's what I really like about him. He keeps the ball. That's something, as United fans, that's something that we really appreciate because a lot of our midfielders don't keep the ball. They give the ball away in stupid areas. We don't get control of the midfield. I think Jorginho is a big part of that. But yeah, I really like Italy. I think they looked really, really good against Turkey as well.
Talking about Jorginho.
Yeah.
Lammy, I'm telling you now, Lammy. I was about to text you. I swear, I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna hit up Lammy because you were absolutely trashing him in the preview to the Euros, and then he turns on a brilliant performance."
It was an all right performance. I think Venezuela was the man of the match for me. I also think having Locatelli there definitely helped him as well. Literally, listen, you take Jorginho, put him in the midfield with Fred or McTominay, see how he does.
Well, at least he'll keep the ball. That's something Fred and McTominay don't do particularly well.
Like the thing about Jorginho, I'm not gonna I know what he can do. I know his technical ability and what he possesses, and his passing ability is phenomenal. I do not doubt that one bit. The thing is, for me, he's such a limited player. He works very well in a system. For me, if you're in a CDM position, how I want my CDMs to be for my club, for my team, I want you to be making tackles. I want you to get in there, intercept. I want you to play the ball forward, think forward, right? And this guy, he doesn't make enough tackles, interceptions. He gives the ball away in critical positions sometimes, and actually often costs us goals. And he'll do this every 4 to 5 games. There'll be one game where he will do this. And towards the back end of the season, he did it. He did it against Villa. He did it against Arsenal as well. So, and again, he did it just before Tuchel came as well, a little bit under Lampard, and that's kind of why he was kind of dropped out of that team for a while, and he even resorted to playing Billy Gilmore in there, because the thing with George, I know he can do this. He doesn't do it too consistently or often enough, and this is why we're never going to win the Premier League, because you need consistency with him in that midfield. We need a Kante and another CDM of his quality, like on Kante's level, and we rotate in Jorginho and Kovacic because there's a lot of games. There's 4 competitions.
Declan Rice. Declan Rice? He's a Chelsea
There's
fan.
no other midfield in the world.
I wouldn't mind Declan Rice, but I'm not going to be like these Chelsea fans. I don't think he's worth 90 million. If that's the price, then I don't forget it.
Yeah,
overhyped, isn't it? Overpriced.
Yeah, overhyped.
Anyway, listen.
No. The thing, so the thing, my summary of Jorginho is basically he's a good player, not a great player.
I agree.
And what about the commenter here? You got a comment here, Lammy. Lammy, screw hitting us with that Bruno reverse psychology. Yeah, he's really.
No. Honestly, like I think he definitely was. For me, he was in with a huge shout of player of the season, because I'm not gonna lie, that you can't deny the effect he's had on Manchester United since he came in. When he came in January last year, do you guys remember where you were when you came in? Before you came in?
Yeah.
Dead and buried, absolutely dead and buried. You man was floating around 12th, was it, or something like that? It was crazy.
Yes,
he came in.
But Lammy, wait a second. You wouldn't say that though if you watched every game Bruno played like we as Man United fans. If you watched every game, you wouldn't say that. You're making the general point that
I'm not going to deny his performances, maybe towards the back end of this season, but I think injuries to key players in other positions as well, I don't think that helped as well. I think not having enough attacking options, that didn't help as well. I think Mason Greenwood being injured, Rashford being injured as well, Cavani and his up and down fitness levels as well, Maguire being injured in the back, that was a huge loss as well. De Gea with his up and down form, not really knowing, being rotated in with Henderson as well. I think as of next season, definitely Henderson needs to start. I think he's your number one goalkeeper now. Listen, whatever, still mid-table in it. But I think that just goes to show. But even when you watch United play, where is the identity? When I watch Chelsea play under Lampard, that's what I was asking myself. I was like, hey, there's an identity, but it's not working. It's a crappy identity. Under Tuchel, there is a clear identity. Sometimes when I watch Man United games, I'm like, hey, Ollie has a game plan. I can see what he's trying to do. Sometimes I think even you guys as fans, even the players are like, what are we doing? What are we actually doing? Do you know what I mean? Because there's no identity to the game. It's just like the players don't know their roles, and that's a huge problem as well. But I'm not gonna lie, Pogba is essential. Bruno is essential. Who else? Maguire is essential. I think these are three players you really can't afford to lose right now.
Right. You know what? The bit of the Man United chat, we'll come to it, a little bit of it at the end. We'll comment. I'll love to get your comments on the Joe Glazer comments, because some of them are absolutely worthy in gold. Honestly, some of them are the most laughable comments you'll ever see in your life. But let's talk about the Portugal and Hungary game, innit? I mean, I said it to Saeed on his channel. Tonight they don't need just one or two chicken wings. Rashford can't even feed the whole nation hungry, mate. They were starving by the end of that last 5 minutes. They were all starving, the whole nation. But who watched it other than me and Saeed? Mundo, did you watch a bit of the game?
I watched it.
I watched a little bit. Yeah, I didn't watch the whole game.
Okay.
But the thing about Portugal is they've got Ronaldo, and he's getting on a bit. But in the big games, that's the one man who you would bet your life on. So as long as they keep him fit, they've got a chance, because in terms of their midfield and their wide players, they're equal to some of the best teams in the tournament. They've got some very good players. So Ronaldo is key, really.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. I'll come to Rachel. Rachel, what were you saying? You watched the game, yeah? What did you think of the game?
I thought Portugal dominated the game in terms of possession and whatnot. I'm pretty sure they would have had above 60% possession, 100%. I think in the final third they're a little bit toothless at times. I think Jota had a stinker today. I thought Pereira in the midfield wasn't very good either. I think them having Pereira and Carvalho in the midfield is not good enough. Just have one of them and bring, like, they will need to play Renato Sanchez. He had a really good cameo today. He actually got the ball and carried the ball from the midfield towards the final third, which is what they were lacking, because Carvalho and Pereira just don't do it. Ronaldo didn't actually play well, to be honest, but it's Ronaldo. He's inevitable, isn't he? He will always get a chance and he will score. That's just Ronaldo. I thought Bernardo Silva actually played quite well before he got taken off. I was surprised he was the one that got taken off, not Jota. I thought Jota was horrendous today. Really, really bad. There were a couple of chances that he got where he didn't pass it to Bruno. Bruno and Ronaldo. Yeah, there was one with Ronaldo as well, and they would have finished it. He was horrendous, honestly terrible. But I think like Portugal, it's a weird one. They've always sort of had an issue with scoring goals. Even in the last Euros, for example, they sort of shithoused their way towards winning it. Like I think they were drawing until they played against Wales, and which is what the first game they won. I think they came third in the groups as well, didn't they? In that, so they shithoused their way towards the win. So
they didn't win a game in the group stages. They didn't win a game.
Yeah, they got 3 draws, if I remember correctly, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I feel sorry for Hungary, man. I feel sorry for Hungary.
So Saeed, can you tell the story? Saeed, can you tell the story? Because Saeed went absolutely bananas when he thought that Hungary. Saeed, can you tell the story? Why were you back in Hungary? Why were you feeding the nation?
Yeah, basically, I'm on the Don Robbie show. They've picked me as Hungary. So listen, I was celebrating Hungary, but then on the Big Six, I've been picked as Portugal. So my head was all over the place at the minute. And then when they scored, oh my God, you know the pillows here. I got their pillows and I went, yes, come on. Honestly, man, I honestly felt like, they were harshly done by, especially the penalty. For me, yeah. I don't know if football's becoming a non-contact sport now, but I just look at it. You got to look at it into context, Did he mean to foul him? And was there enough context for him to go down? Yeah. I think now, if you just flip them now and say, you know what, they're going down, and it's a lot of drama. And I feel like even in the tournament, I think Diaz got one of their players, and then he just flipped him, and then it was like, you know what I mean? It was like
rolling around.
So for me, I look at it and I think, you know what? I thought Hungary got away. Hungary were very, very unlucky. And I look at Portugal, and I think they're the masters of getting away when they're not playing. What's the old saying? It's better to play when you're not playing good, isn't it? You know what I mean? And if they can do that, I think they'll go far, because they've got a lot of match winners on their bench. They've got people who could change off the bench. You're looking at Spain, same type of players. You know what I mean? Germany, same type of players. Whereas Portugal, they brought on Renato Sanchez and a few other players, and they were unbelievable. I thought Rafa, you said it, Nourdin. Rafa's going to change the game, and he did.
Yeah. So, honestly, to me, the most thing that I would say, I thought Hungary stayed with them. I thought Hungary was super aggressive. By far, this was the most roll-around game of the tournament, where every player who got the slightest little touch was going to ground like they've been shot or they're having heart attacks. Honestly, it was terrible for that. It was terrible, for that. But I thought the intensity which they played with, I thought in the first half, Hungary really defended in numbers and pressed them hard and were super aggressive. And then in the second half, I thought Hungary came out of their shell. The game got a bit stretched because Hungary were getting super tired. When you haven't got the ball, when you're in the heat, obviously full stadium. For the first time we've seen since this Rona, we've seen a full stadium, people. Hungary, they've got a kind of neo-fascist dictator in there, and he doesn't give a damn about Rona or no Rona. You know what I mean? So he's like, yo, we're backing the boys. And you see the fans. So it was brilliant to watch in terms of, it was a lot of intensity before the goals because the atmosphere made it. We missed the atmosphere. I thought that came across really well, the atmosphere, that intensity, that, both fans giving it. And I thought Hungary did the justice, but they had to defend because they don't have the quality. They're not as good as Portugal on the ball. So, and also 2 of their best players got injured before the tournament. The 2 of their literally, their 2 attacking most potent players got injured. How unlucky is that? And it was the first time they played a home tournament a home game. So they gave it a lot. They left everything on the pitch. But at the end, it's that bit of quality and luck. And I was saying to the Portuguese left back, I said he usually plays with a lot of energy. You know what I mean? He brings, the Dortmund left back, he brings a lot of energy to Portugal's play. And I thought he was having a really dull game. And 2 minutes later, he absolutely shut me up. I mean, it was a deflection and a half. He was going to go straight to that Hungarian keeper. The ball took a wicked deflection and then spun into the opposite corner. So that was hard. And the penalty was seriously harsh. But some people will say, you know what, Portugal should have had a handball. It was a handball before that, before the 2 goals. But then Ronaldo 1-2 with Rafa. I said Rafa's going to change the game because he's quite clever. intricate kind of player. And the difference between Rafa and Jota is that Jota was super greedy today, Rachel. Rachel's right. He had an absolute stick. A lot of it, he was greedy. And Ronaldo shouted at him, didn't he? Ronaldo was free for a tap-in, and he
missed the sitter as well, Ronaldo. Let's not forget about that. Ronaldo should have scored.
Oh, yeah, he missed the absolute sitter.
That was really bad.
One of the sitters of the tournament. That was the absolute, for Ronaldo, that was an absolute sitter. And did you see him, Ronaldo, there passing the buck, thinking that somebody gave him a shout at the back? He kept looking back like that, going, oh, I'm like, listen, you missed that, mate. That was an open goal, 4 yards out, 5 yards out, and he missed it. So I thought they took it away from them in the last end, but it's going to be very interesting because I was convinced. And the thing about Portugal, the Portugal manager, the reason why he played the 2 sitters is because he looked at the 4 attacking players and said, I'm going to let those 4 attacking players stay up the pitch. That's why he needed it. And he was getting his 2 fullbacks to go up as well. So it was almost 6 players. So he was going to leave, 4 at the back, basically, the 2 holders and the 2 centre-halves to protect against the counter-attack, the Hungarian counter-attack. So that's why he played it. So I understood that. But he should have made changes. He didn't. He waited and waited and waited. And at the end, they got lucky and got away with it. But I would Rachel, he should have brought Moutinho on because Moutinho is a baller. Sanchez on off the bench. You know what I mean? We didn't even see the best young player in one of the best young players in Europe. You know what I mean? João Felix. We didn't even see him. We didn't see him. He just won the league in Spain and we didn't see him. So it just shows that they've got gears, I think, to go. But Ronaldo, I'm happy for him to get the record because it's an incredible record. 5 Euros. And now he's scored and now he's only of 3 goals, I think, or 2 goals of being the top scorer in international football. I mean, Ali Daei plays for Iran, hold the record. And I think Ronaldo's 2 goals of like equaling and beating his record. So it just shows you. But Irfan, what are you hoping? What do you reckon to tomorrow's game? We're going to be talking about Turkey and in Wales. Turkey have got to come out and Wales have got to come out because I thought Wales did all right. They were a bit fortunate to get the goal. They were defending, but I thought Switzerland played good, but under that heat, Welsh players were always going to struggle. And I think Ramsey and Bale are not the same players they were 4 years ago.
No, they're not. I mean, I don't know because like Wales to me, I mean, I always think of Scotland and think of Wales and where they are. Are they lucky to be here? Are they really in the elite of Europe? I look at them because obviously Bale's a fading force. I mean, look, they were fortunate to get an equaliser in that last game, but I don't see much. I don't really see. I don't think they're going to surprise me. I just think they're going to meander along. I can't see them doing much. But then again, Turkey is the worst Turkey team I've seen. I've never seen a team as bad as this Turkey team. So it's going to be difficult.
They're a bit harsh, I think. I think they're a very young team. They've got a couple of like older, experienced players, but the rest of them are quite young players. And I think that they were shocked by the way Italy played, and also they couldn't cope with that heat. There was just and also the negativity.
Wait. The Turkish players couldn't play with the heat. Have you been to Turkey?
No. Let me finish my sentence. Lami, I'll let you in a minute. Let me finish my sentence. When you haven't got the ball because the other team's keeping the ball, you're running around like a headless chicken, like a dog that's lost his bone, right? That's what you're doing. You're going to get shattered. You are absolutely going to get shattered regardless what heat you play under. You're going to be shattered. That's how it is in football. When the other team's got the ball and dictating the play and it's got about 80% possession and you're chasing that ball under that extreme heat, you're getting shattered. Secondly, the way the Turkish manager set them up because it's the first game, obviously Italy are playing a home game and their favourites was too defensive. He didn't change it for them to go attacking, to get hold of the ball. They kept losing the ball and that's what affected them, right? So, I mean, I let Lami come in, but I think this Turkish team have got a lot more talent and they're gonna have to show it. They're going to have to show it because I actually think that they were going to be one of the people that could be a dark horse. I tipped them in Italy to be one of the surprises of the tournament. Italy were for me. Italy are going to take a lot of beating, I think, because they're going to keep the ball against a lot of teams. But Turkey, I expect them to come out tomorrow and show a lot of character. But Lami, I'll let you come in.
you kind of like half made my point as well. I think Turkey because they knew they were facing such an experienced possession based team in Italy, and we know that's what they like to do, completely dominate possession, hold the ball as well, and they were creating a lot of chances, a lot more chances, but they weren't taking their chances. And even when I was watching that game, I was like, that reminds me of a certain team that I support in the Premier League, just dominating the ball, but failing to convert your chances. And I was just thinking maybe they might get punished, but I think maybe the nerves got to Turkey as well, because it's such a big occasion. The first game of the Euros, all eyes on you as well. So I think it was almost kind of like a midfield of like 5, or I don't know, it was a back 5 or something, but they sat so deep. Like, why was I seeing Yilmaz on the edge of the box, on the edge of his own box? You're a striker, do you know what I mean? And everyone said, he's crap, he didn't have nothing, he's non-existent. He had no service. He had literally, especially in the first half, Turkey couldn't, like when they were making the interceptions, they couldn't even get the ball and hold the ball. They'd give it right back to Italy. And again, Italy are just that much better, that much more quality, that much more comfortable on the ball. It suits them perfectly. I think now that they know they've lost this game, it's going to be interesting to see from this point onwards, because Wales is another team that I think were maybe lucky enough to get their draw, because Switzerland were all over them, and it's all or nothing, because these teams that didn't pick up 3 points in their first games, they know they have to pick up 3 points in their next game, so it's do or die. And I think we're going to see a very different setup from Turkey. I think they're going to go for it.
You're right to reply, bro.
Sorry?
You're right to reply.
Well, I mean, like I said, I just didn't see anything in Turkey. I swear, I was hoping for it, but they were so dominant. They were so beaten up by Italy. To me, it was a spineless performance. If I was a Turkish supporter, I mean, you could blame the manager, you can blame the system, but I saw nothing. And I'm still thinking of, when they got to semi-finals when they're playing Brazil, how many years got a World Cup. I keep thinking of Turkish football. It's never been that bad, but this is, like I said, it's the worst one I've seen in 20 years of watching them. I haven't seen anything as bad as this. So I know technically they're a very great team. They've got it, but I just didn't see a sniff of it at all. I saw nothing. They were so outplayed by Italy. So I just think the writing's on the wall for them. I just can't see it happening. I can't see, having lost 4-0, I can't see them turning around. I just can't. I don't have any faith. So, I mean, sorry, 3-0. But that's the thing. But still, it's just like I said. It's, to me, they don't like the races at all. They just.
But you know what? Just one game, and like this, like here, one Rovers vlog says Italy just passed Turkey off the park, and that's why they were knackered. But I think it was tactic. It was set up. It was a defensive kind of setup. And when 60 minutes gone and he's having to take off 2 of the midfielders, that OK guy and the other guy, because they were absolutely, like the commentator kept talking about it, they were literally pouring out sweat. They were shattered, because when you're chasing that ball around, you get even more knackered. You need to get on the ball to relax. That's why sometimes you pass the ball around. The ball always runs. It's faster than the player, right? It's always, the ball has to do the work. But Rachel, come in.
Oh no, I was just going to ask Irfan, is there anyone in the Turkish squad that's got a bit of pace in them? That's one thing I noticed against Italy. Apologies for the dog. I noticed against Italy, there wasn't a lot of pace. There was space being left in behind in Italy's defense. And oh my gosh, dog.
But that's what I'm saying. I didn't even I always assume, because the way I saw Turkey change over the years is they're obviously very technical players, right? And like I said, there was a bit of they had good engines. They were professional footballers. They were worthy of being in the top elite of Europe. But having looked at this one, I was looking at them all thinking, where's this going to come from? Where's a bit of magic going to come from? Where's a little bit of the old Turkey that are not going to come from? And like I said, it was almost like they were knackered. They were totally knackered. And I don't buy that excuse that Nuruddin says about you're being footballed to death like Man City do to all the team. That is today's game. That is the professional game today. Professional. Some teams can hold on for 90 minutes, and you've got to wait. They was completely bulldozed by Italy. I mean, like I said,
but that shows you how good Italy are being. Mundo, I mean, you want to come in here. Did you watch that Italy game?
Yeah, the thing is that Italy were very impressive, and Turkey didn't turn up. But there's a couple of things. The first one is this. Don't forget that the team that finishes third can still qualify. Yeah. So tomorrow's a massive game for both Wales and Turkey because whoever wins that game, they still got a chance of getting out the group. And the other thing is that I suspect that Turkey will look at Wales as being the weakest team out of the three they have to play, and Wales will look at Turkey as being the weakest team that they have to play. So I reckon tomorrow could be a good game because they're both thinking, well, Turkey have got to play Switzerland next, and Wales have got to play Italy. So the chances of Wales getting a result against Italy is far less than them getting a result against Turkey. So they have to try and beat Turkey.
Agreed.
Yeah. So tomorrow, hopefully, that means both teams will just go for it because winner takes all, isn't it? Situation.
And you know tomorrow, you know that Turkish fanatic crowd are going to turn out. Basically, Azerbaijan is next door to bloody Turkey. Baku. It's in Baku. They're coming out. Trust me.
That's the home. Yeah, that's the home ground.
I'll be surprised if the whole of Turkey doesn't start walking to Azerbaijan.
Very similar heritage. Very similar heritage.
Listen, I'm telling you, it's going to be a Turkish invasion tomorrow. Trust me. Ottoman Empire strikes again. I'm telling you, that's what it's going to be tomorrow. Ottoman Empire strikes again.
I think Wales are in trouble tomorrow because Turkey got a couple of players. I think Yilmaz just won the league, didn't he, with Lille?
Yeah,
he did. Yeah,
I think there's another player that plays for Lille who's Turkish.
Yeah. And also, don't forget the playmaker Mundo plays for Milan.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name, but I know who you mean. Yeah, Hassan.
Kalhanoglu.
Kalhanoglu. Yeah.
So they got Hassan as well. So I think on paper, Turkey have probably got a bit more quality than Wales.
They have.
I mean, Rachel were asking before. Senghis under is the guy who's quick. He's the winger, isn't he? He was playing for Leicester, Roma. He's quite quick.
If you guys remember, like obviously they got absolutely turned over by Italy, but when he came on, there was 2 moments where he made 2 great runs, and they nearly end. So he was the one that was literally trying to make something happen. Maybe they should start him for the next game, I think, because maybe that's what they need. I know Wales will probably look for their pace merchants in Dan James, I guess, but this in unders obviously much better technically.
Let's talk about that actually. You know what? Let's talk about that. You know what? Big up, JT. You know, big up man like JT. Honestly, I'm not gonna Dan James, man. DJ, I thought DJ was Wales' best player against Switzerland. Honestly, he had the fullback on absolute toast. He had him absolutely buttered. He had him buttered on both sides, mate. That's what he had him, honestly. Buttered. Honestly, it's coconut oiled on both sides. I'm telling you. Every time he got the ball, he was going past him. He was the danger man. And did you see the arrogance when he got substituted? He started looking at the manager going, what are you doing? You can't be taking me off. You know when DJ's looking at the manager like, what are you doing? Do you know what you're doing, mate? That says something. But
Dan James trying to do a whole Kepa. No.
Yes. Hey, Labs, actually, you know what? I've never actually spoke to a Chelsea fan about that. What did you think? Were you super embarrassed? I was embarrassed for your manager. I was embarrassed for your coach. I was embarrassed for Sola.
Did you see? Yeah. Sorry. Like, if my man could, if it was legal, he was looking for them cigarettes. He wanted to smoke that whole 20-pack right there. He was just like, oh my. Nah, where's my 20? Nah, literally, I lost respect for him then because I'm just thinking, I don't care who you are. Like, I don't care what the price tag was. If your manager's taking you off, come off.
It was so surreal. It was unbelievable. That's when I knew his career was done at Chelsea. I was like, signed, sealed, delivered. You've just that was a suicide, mate. That's a football suicide. But you know what? Honestly, check this out. The other day, right? Lazio. Sarri's gone to Lazio. Yes, imagine. I want. If any of you have seen it, stay quiet. How they announced him. Those of you who don't know how they announced him, can you guess how they announced Sarri?
The cigarette in his mouth.
Lazio.
You're close. Who said that? Who said a cigarette in his mouth? Rachel, you're close. You're close, but that's not the correct answer.
Cigar. Was he smoking a cigar?
Cigar instead.
Rachel is no. Try again. It's something to do with cigarette. It's not a cigar. It's a cigarette specially, but cigarette and what?
A spliff. He was smoking a spliff.
No.
A glass of wine.
He was bunning.
You know what? The comments. Marshall got it here. They basically, all they did was just put a cigarette, just zoomed in on a cigarette to announce Sarri.
Oh, that's mad.
Sarri wasn't even in the picture. No Sarri, nothing, just a cigarette. They zoomed in on a cigarette, and that's how they officially announced Sarri was the manager of Lazio. You can't make it up. It was a cigarette emoji. That's what it was, cigarette emoji. That's how they announced it. But hey, that's good guessing though. Really good guessing. Yeah, Mundo split. Some of those, honestly, sometimes I did think, is my man secretly smoking a split? Because the way he's constantly smoking.
Definitely.
No, it's not smoking spliffs. He's definitely.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
No. He gets too emotional and riled up. Like if he was making a spliff, he'd be calm. He'd be chill.
Yeah. Lamb's, you know what? I can imagine Lamb sitting behind the, you know what I mean, behind the dugout going, if that was a split, Lamb saying, you know what? Come on, pass it on, lad. Pass it on. Yeah. Give us a toke, sorry. Give us a toke. Seriously.
Like trust. If I was there at that game, I'd be like, bro, if that's a split, pass it, because I'm stressed too.
Yeah, you know, can you imagine Jorginho stressing her out? You know what I mean? Lamb's there like that going, I need it. You know what I like, Sarri? You know what I like him as a character? I think the game does not, you know what, football has become super sanitized, super over professionalized, robotic. And I like Sarri. There's something about Sarri that I like. The fact that he was an accountant.
Sorry, you know what? I never liked Sarri. Yeah, this Sarri ball almost ruins my club. I didn't like it. He's the reason why Jorginho's in my club. He was about to safely go to City. He's about to have a wonderful, happy career and a happy time at City. But Sarri gassed him. He gassed him. So he's like, come to Chelsea. I'm coming. You're going to be the main man. You're everything. Yeah, I'm building this team around you. Yeah. And look what happened.
To be fair, Sarri started to work towards the end when it was starting to work before he got sacked. Well, before he left.
I know he won the Europa League, but he took us from first to third. Yeah, I'm not gonna. There's certain performances I can't erase from my mind, even if I try. 4-0 against Bournemouth when we lost 4-0. That was the day I said sorry, thank you, finish the season, but it's time to go.
You know what?
About the 6-0? What about your 6-0 at Man City?
Yeah, it was in a week, wasn't it? There was like 3 bad performances.
I don't recall. I don't recall.
I'm selective amnesia.
Listen, do you see the difference? People in the audience, do you see the arrogance of Lammy's tone of voice? When a manager messes up, because she knows they've got an owner, they've got a structure and a setup. When a manager messes up, Lammy's like, see you later. It's been
okay. This is why when Lampard started like having these performances and people are, oh my god, I was like, just calm down, guys. We're Chelsea. We're not Arsenal. We're not Manchester United. Yeah, we're Chelsea. Yeah. If he keeps on pulling stinkers like this, you know he's not gonna stay. That's why I was calm. I was just sitting there waiting for the day. Breaking news, Lampard has been, because I saw it coming. I knew it was coming. You guys, yeah, like you said, Oli can lose 10 games in a row and they'll probably give him a new contract.
That's how it is. Glazonomics. Retain the player, retain everybody. Listen, they sack managers. Actually, our remit has been for the last 9 years, top 4. You can win all the trophies you want. If you finish outside the top 4, arrivederci. They're consistent. They've always been consistent. Our remit. That's what I said it a long time ago. I said, we're the new Arsenal. And people laughed at me. I was like, and people say, why are we the new Arsenal? Because top 4 is a trophy to the Glazers. Top 4 is a trophy to the Glazers. But anyway, what are the games here tomorrow? So tomorrow we've got Wales, Turkey. Is it Italy playing as well? Italy, Switzerland tomorrow as well. They're the games that we've got tomorrow.
We also have Finland and Russia at 2 p.m. We've got Turkey Wales at 5 and then Italy and Switzerland at 8. So there's also Finland and Russia there. Obviously, Finland's getting that win, bit awkward circumstances. I felt really bad for them because it's like, how can you celebrate after what just happened? Like, you can't, but it still means a lot for the country and the fans. So it's just like, ugh.
Yeah. You know what? I called it out. I went early and called after that game. I went early. I couldn't watch it after that. I was super emotional. I actually really like Eriksen as a human being and as a player. And I was super, super emotional. And I was like, what the hell is going on to Eriksen? But the way the bully boy disgraceful tactics you ever used against the Danish team, was apps, and I called it out. I called it out on Twitter, and people got at me, literally got at me, and said, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? These people don't need to be mothered." All of that, and I'm like, listen, elite level sport. I studied sport, right? And I did modules of sports psychology. At elite level sport, if you're not focused, right? A lot of the elite level sport at the highest level is about mental focus. If you're not mentally focused and your head is not in it in the sport, you are gonna drop. Miles gonna drop. The performance is gonna drop. And I explain to people, how can they've just been crying on the pitch? Their teammate, they're one of their best friends. A lot of those, right, Danish players, was worked on for 20 minutes, literally battling for his life. And UEFA gives them 3 options. Now, I called out the 2 options they gave him, but I didn't know about the 3rd option. They basically said to them, you can finish the game now. You can come back tomorrow at 12 o'clock and play the game. Or the 3rd one, you can forfeit the game and lose 3-0. Please, I mean, I've heard Rachel. We've talked about it with Rachel. I'll first going at Mundo and Irfan. I don't know either of you were watching the game live, but please, I want to know what are your emotions and how can UEFA get away with that?
I mean, if you can imagine the impact that had seeing that site, the impact that had on us as spectators, right, watching it on the TV, and the impact it had on us, and then you compare that to people that were close to him, his teammates, he's the captain, he's their talisman, and for all intents and purposes, they thought he was dead, right? And they didn't know if he was going to be revived. And then for UEFA to turn around and say, well, actually, have an hour and then come back and play. I just think it's disgraceful. And what they've come out with is, we need 2 days, the players need at least 2 days rest between games. And that's why we could, they were the only options available. And I just think that's BS, absolute BS, because there'll be days somewhere in the tournament where there's no games being played. So they could have easily shuffled the schedule around. It's all to do with money. It's all to do with sponsors. It's all to do with that's their primary concern. Not about the well-being and the welfare of the players. Because what about the psychological impact on those Danish players? They might not even be able to play again in this tournament. I mean, in terms of obviously they'll play physically, but mentally, that might be it for them. That's it.
Exactly.
I think you nailed it, Mundo. I mean, to be honest with you, I can't see them recovering from, especially Danish teammates. I can't see them recovering emotionally, psychologically from seeing that. To see somebody almost die in front of them, I can't. There's no way. I mean, how could UEFA give a choice of a 3-0 win to Finland? I mean, it should have been just an abandoned game, and if anything, that it's a draw. Match for feet, etc. You just give them 1 point each. Now, I'm pretty sure that they're not going to be able to recover from that because it was just so bizarre watching it, and then it was tragic at the same time, and then it was a miracle. I mean, I never seen anything like it in my life. And I was trying to watch back. I mean, I'm not into the gore, but it was just so bizarre seeing it. And then looking at it, and then I thought, well, what's happened here? And then when you realize it was a heart attack thing, but it was just, and then, BBC just shut the game off so quickly, to hide you or put some gardening shit on or something, And then we were watching it, and I was trying to take it all in, and I was like, surely we need time to reflect. Where is the sensitivity of the human in this issue? Where is that? They're not robots. These are human beings. So that's what I didn't get. I just didn't get at all. I mean, like, surely in UEFA, there's somebody's got a heart. Show me. There must be someone. All right, fair enough, they're money men, but someone must have. What? Not one person. So it's disgraceful. I mean, I don't know why the press, the media, I don't know why the fans are not giving it to UEFA at the moment for what they did. They should be giving it to them. It was sort of brushed over very quickly.
Irfan, it was a two-edged thing. First of all, obviously that's Danish TV, right, or whatever, or UEFA TV that had the cameras. The BBC should have cut to the studio straight away. I'm literally praying on my knees, and I'm like this, cut away to the studio, cut away. You know what? That is one of the most tragic moments of his life if that was going to be at the end of his life. And the show, where's the basic human dignity? Where is it? They were showing him swallow his tongue. He flicks it out. He's captain. By the way, already the player of the tournament and the team of the tournament. Player of the tournament is their captain. Already knew exactly what to do. You know, you know what? Flick the tongue, because when you collapse and pass out, your tongue, because you pass out, it literally blocks your airway. I mean, I've been on so many first aid courses, and I would say this again and again, and I'll say it religiously. Please learn first aid. Please learn how to do CPR, because you know what? It's only second in the world to cancer. Most people in the world die from cardiac arrest, heart attacks. That's what they die from. You could be a lifesaver. Please know in the areas where you work, in your neighborhood, if there's a defibrillator about, because defibrillators save lives. Trust me. A majority of defibrillators have automated. They have a voice that tells you exactly what to do. So learn that. But the BBC, first of all, they didn't cut away. They should have cut away from that footage straight away, and to show the dignity. And then they show his wife, one of the most horrific moments of her life. There she is. Her husband is fighting for his life. They show her running down, and the quick thinking of the players to surround him, to preserve his dignity in that moment where he needed his dignity preserved, was another thing. So that's on the BBC, first of all. And then the way they cut it straight away, and then they come back on it with a game later.
But no, it's on the producer. The producer's telling which camera he's pointing all the time. You've seen the TV station inside. He's the one controlling it all.
But because of Corona, I don't think BBC have sent teams over there because of Corona and travel and stuff like that. I think they're relying on. That's why you're not getting a lot of the replays as much as you would get from other tournaments when it was based on one country, because that's what they're doing. Basically, what they have to do is cut off from that feed. Cut off from that
and also another reason why they should have definitely cut off is the time that people are watching the Euros. People are watching these games with their families, with their children, with kids. There's kids watching this happen right now. Like, if it's traumatizing for us as adults, you're sitting there trying to enjoy the game with your family, and your children are there watching this happen. What do you say? Like, what on earth? Like. And I think they should have been conscious of that. It's not only adults watching that; it's children watching. There's children there at the stadium with their families. Like, no child needs to see that. It's horrible. It's traumatizing, man.
And one other thing I think, which no one's mentioned, is where was the Danish FA in this? Right? What did they do to try and protect their players? Because I've not heard one statement from them or seen anything from the Danish FA to say, we tried to intervene and said to waive it's not appropriate or whatever. Nothing, because it's all about the Benjamins, isn't it?
And the biggest thing is the TV money, Mundo. They would have had to give back the TV money. That's what it comes down to, the TV money. They would have had to give back the TV money. But Rachel, did you hear what the manager said after the game? He was like, we should not, in looking back in hindsight, we should not have played this game. And I'm like, the manager should have been strong enough. This should have been, the decision should have been taken out of the hands of both teams. Or both. And then if you know what, can you imagine if Denmark would have said, yeah, you know what, we're not going to play. So if you want to give the 3-0 to them, but I think in their deep down in the hearts of hearts, the Finland team would have been like, nah, we take no points or we get 1 point each. We're not going to take the 3-0. We're not going to accept the 3-0. We're not going to accept it. But even to me, it would have been worth getting kicked out of the tournament, because that would have shamed UEFA and showing them up for what they are. But did you hear Rachel? Did you hear the Danish manager? Because like Mundo said,
I don't know what he said.
He basically said, he goes, on reflection, we should not have played. The players they were not in the right mind to play in that game. On reflection,
I saw earlier in the comments, someone said, "Oh, they did get a penalty and Højbjerg missed it." Yeah, of course he missed it. Mentality, like. Are you going to be focused on putting a penalty away? Like, we've seen even in high pressure finals and penalty shootouts, like the pressure on the player with nothing that's happened is intense. It's immense, right? Can you imagine trying to focus on that after you watch somebody almost die in front of you? How? If I watch somebody almost die in front of me and someone said, go and take an exam, of course I'm going to fail. Of course. Yep. If I watch somebody die in front of me and someone said, I need you to go focus and go fix this car, boy, that car's probably going to crash. Because but mentality is not there. You can't fully focus because the trauma is still fresh in your mind. Literally, the game should have been completely abandoned and played the next day or something at lunchtime, or even like you guys said, there are gaps in between the schedules and the games. Fit it in like maybe just before the last group game, or just after everyone else has played their last group game.
Exactly, Lam.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
The first
Nuruddin-
of all, like Mundo and Irfan said, the first thing in your mind is the welfare. It's the duty of care. They've neglected it. Honestly, they treat footballers, these associations treat footballers like they're worse than animals. I'm telling you now, horses sometimes might get better treatment than footballers. And people, because they have a short career, and people are getting into me on Twitter when I said that, because I went early. Because I was like, I can't believe this. Where's the duty of care? And people were like, they decided to play. What do you mean they decided to play? Are you kidding me?
But Nuruddin, the summation or summary of this whole thing is that basically the show must go on. That's basically what they're saying. That's the hierarchy of football. It's the show must go. Doesn't matter if somebody dies, something happens. It's basically advertising revenue. Getting it together for the scheduling, because it's a big This is the thing about football. Football is not the football it used to be. It's a hyperinflated capitalist game, and that's what it was. It was the show must go on. That's why the sensitivity is dead. That's why they're probably not even looking at themselves, because the drive for the show to go on is so extreme. And that's the thing.
That's a horrible comment.
For this comment, what is money compared to health? Yeah, your health is your wealth. There's a reason why that's the saying. Yeah, if you don't have your health, you have nothing. You have absolutely nothing. You can have all the money in the world, and if you have a terminal disease, you're dying, then you have nothing. You may have that money, but you don't have it. You have nothing because you don't have your health. You don't have the promise of prospects in the world. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, right? I think what this needs to do is open people's eyes into the fact that it could happen to anybody, right? Christian Eriksen is a professional footballer. His lifestyle, the way he exercises, his food, his diet, like it is top notch. It's top notch. The man is very, very well looked after, and yet he had a heart attack. Let alone the rest of us who are out here, I don't know, probably drinking, smoking, eating junk food, McDonald's, not exercising regularly, putting crap into our body. It's humanity first, guys. It's human nature. It just goes to show, it doesn't matter. You can be the richest or the poorest. It can happen to anybody.
And the thing is, well, there's so many footballers who are now finally opening up about struggling with their mental health and things like that. And you've got to think, you can give people billions of pounds, but the pressure that they play under every single week, the environments that they have to work in, right?
Hostile.
Can you imagine going to work and you've got someone stood next to you screaming all kinds of stuff at you and calling you this, that, and the other? Can you imagine going to work and not being able to talk openly about your religion, your sexuality, your politics, and you've got to have this complete kind of vanilla persona, which is not you.
Robot, Mundo, robot.
Yeah,
robot,
you're just a robot. You kind of dehumanize. You're just a product, and that has an impact on people. So I would never. For me, it doesn't matter how much people are getting paid. You've got to look at the stress and the pressures that they're put under, and I'm surprised. I'm really, really surprised that more people haven't spoken out. When I say more people, I mean more influential people within the game have not condemned the fact that Denmark were forced to play that game. I don't care what anyone says about the teams agreed. They were given an ultimatum. That's
exactly 100%.
It was under duress, and it was like, and you know exactly what would have happened.
They're still in shock.
Yeah.
When somebody's in shock, do you take their decisions? People are still in shock. They're so deep in trauma. I mean, I'm going to come to you in a minute, Rachel, but I just want to put this further to another sport analysis. Naomi Osaka came out, young woman of color, young player. She's not the most extroverted. She's a super introverted. Choose to play for Japan because she's mixed heritage, Japan and Haiti. She chose, even though she born and grew up in the US, she chose to represent Japan. To say something in that, because in that culture there's more privacy in that kind of sense, and people respect people's privacy, right? Anyway, she comes out. Her game doesn't really suit the clay. I'm just giving a background story because for the audience, yeah. She's ranked number 2 in the world, yeah. She's up there as one of the best young players. She just won the US Open. She was there repping for Black Lives Matter. And every time she came out, she was wearing another name, a victim of police brutality or police murder. That's how she did every round in the US Open. After, you know what I mean? And on the media. So there is this disgusting, really disgusting and insidious, right? Insidious relationship between media, between sport authorities in terms of tennis. So she basically said, because in tennis, you go out, you have to give interviews. So even every part of your performance gets analyzed. And you have to go to different presses, right? You can sit there for an hour taking the same questions again and again. And already last year or the year before, she experienced in the French, you're not good here, are you? Your game, you're not doing at all. What are you doing to improve on clay? All of that. She's basically said, mentally, I'm a bit fragile at this moment. It's been a Rona. It's been a madness. You don't know what's going on in their private life. That could be anxiety. She said, I've got social anxiety. I don't want to partake in the interviews. All of a sudden, that gets out the four. So the four big trophies are Wimbledon, Australian Open, US Open, the French Open. All of them within hours, gang up, within a day and a half, I think, or within hours, gang up, released a statement saying that she'll be kicked out of all of the tournaments if she does not renege on what she said. If she's not going to answer the press, straight away got vilified. Again, zero, right? Zero responsibility on the human being. She's not a robot. Where is the duty of care? Everybody, all of the TV companies, they all come out, mental health. We need to talk about mental health. We need to talk about it. People need to talk. Here is a young woman, right? On the year that we've all suffered. Our mental health has suffered because of the pandemic, right? Imagine being an elite level sports person, playing and going on the tour, right? Because it's quite lonely on the tour. You can't have too many of your friends, too many of your family maybe supporting you like they would in a tournament. She don't have that support system like you usually would because of the corona. And there she comes out, Rachel, and she says, I'm not well, guys. Police, that was a cry for help. All of a sudden, they're like, nah, you're getting penalized. Straight away, she got found. They didn't even sit down with it and try to investigate it and maybe get a therapist for her to really ask, to see if they can do something. Straight away, penalty. TV companies, sports organizations, advertisers, all insidious collaboration to literally dehumanize athletes. Rachel, what did you think of that? And do you watch tennis?
I used to watch tennis. I don't watch it anymore. But this is something that's happening in all sports. In fact, the media has been guilty of this, even with sort of like the George Floyd incident, right? The only reason why we like the players and that are doing the whole taking the knee thing is because it's something the media sort of jumped on. They jumped on this bandwagon to make themselves look like, oh, we're not a racist country. We believe this, and this. And like they've made themselves look good. But do they actually believe it? No. And it's shown that because when the really serious incidents come out, when things actually happen where they have a chance to say this should be done to try and help, what they do is they sort of shy away from it. And they say, oh, but we're encouraging the knee, so it's fine. But they're not actually taking responsibility.
People, but when they have hard evidence of what they've actually their racist abuse and actual hate, and they know who it is, they can track it to them. The evidence is there, but they're not being prosecuted. They turn up to work the next day, everything's fine.
Yeah, and even in like we spoke the other day about how there's undertones in the media with how they sort of treat certain players. We all know what it's like, the way they treat players, the way they treat people. They don't care as long as it sells papers, as long as it sells articles.
Calvin Phillips, did you see the Calvin Phillips?
Let me not speak. Yeah, let me not because
we want to hear.
Jamaican father is in prison.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
That is something about his Irish, and they mentioned his Irish mother having to sleep on the sofa with his Jamaican dad in prison.
Yep.
And then there was a parallel headline talking about what's his name, the young guy from City.
I know you're talking about Mundo. I know you're talking
Foden, Phil Foden.
Oh,
and it talks about him going back to his community and playing football on the streets with the local kids and all the rest of it. And it's the whole Raheem Sterling thing again, isn't it? It's like, if you're a person of colour, then the headline even though he was the man of the match, and he put in a fantastic performance, and I think any England player, any England fan who said they expected him to be as good as he was against Croatia, he's lying. Unless you're a Leeds fan and you watch him religiously, you realise how good he is. He put in an absolutely amazing performance, and rather than focus on that, they want to focus on his Jamaican dad in prison and his Irish mum sleeping on the couch. I just think
racist undertones all the time. It's always like that in the media, and it's with everything. Like that's what I'm saying with you know how Northern you speaking about like the media, how they treat people with mental health. The same thing.
Mason Greenwood and Phil Foden again with Mason Greenwood.
The contrast. Yeah.
Worst Mason Greenwood. And I think this is why, because Phil Foden was so protected after the incident. I think they both should have been protected. It shouldn't just be either or, like this favoritism thing. And Mason Greenwood was thrown so disgustingly under the bus, and I think that's what seriously contributed to his performances at the start of the season. You can tell his mental health was so affected, and he's really young. He is so young. He's 18, 19 years old. He's a child, man. Like,
I mean, you know what? Listen,
and protection, and they just threw him under the bus. It's disgusting.
I'll go one further. Certain journalists that know who they are. There was somebody apparently allegedly did the horrific crime of basically raping somebody. There was somebody alleged to have raped somebody. They kept insinuating saying a young footballer. And all over Twitter, everyone's like Greenwood,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they let that go on for days and days. Can you imagine that? Greenwood then also lost one of his closest friends who was a youth player for Man City, a 17-year-old, committed suicide because City let him go, right? That affected him mentally. And they don't understand that. I mean, the comment says it here. But Irfan, obviously this is not new to you, bro. I talked to you about the media and the media framing and capitalism. Me and you have talked about it. We all know what we're talking about, but it's blatant. The biggest thing about Calvin Phillips for me was that, listen, at the end of the day, we're like, you played well, but know your place. Yeah. Know your place. You're not fully white. You're Irish and black. Yeah. That's all you know your place, son. Don't ever.
Yeah, they wanted to make a point of it that he's not English. Because they referenced his Irish and Jamaican heritage, didn't they? They wanted to make that distinct, make it clear that he's not English.
But he's not one of them.
Because that was the point of doing that. Like, if you look closely at these articles as well, it's the language that they use. Like, language is so very powerful, guys. The way you use certain words depicts certain narratives and agendas that get put across. Yeah, and a lot of less than intelligent people, like they sort of, and that's what it is. It subconsciously makes you think, okay, he's Jamaican and Irish, meaning he's not really English, he's not really one of us. So the moment he starts getting crap or puts in crappy performances, or he does something that we don't like, then we are putting him on blast. That's basically what it is. It's that warning. Like, yeah, well done for putting in this performance for England, but the moment you have a crappy performance or you do something that we don't like, we're disowning you. We're disowning you, bro.
And if you dare do something like, I don't know, buy a house for your mom or something like that, we'll be on you straight away.
Yep.
It's just ridiculous.
What did you think? Did you see the article about Kevin, the headline?
Yeah. So, look, I'm old enough to still remember the Rivers of Blood, Enoch Powell. I've studied the history going back, 100 years. Nothing surprises me because I know how insidious and institutionally racist the people are at that level. And to be honest with you, in their boardrooms, they're just thinking, well, we know our clientele are racist. Let's just keep feeding them because we need to make the money off them. They need to buy the papers. They need to buy into our narrative, no matter how racist it is. It's blatant. It doesn't give a shit. There's no sensitivity to it at all. They don't care. We're up in arms, but at the end of the day, this is no surprise. The change is so subtle, and yet the change comes with a huge amount of BS with it. Like I said, symbols and gestures, but no action. Like I said, the people that booed the team, they should have grabbed them all and physically threw them out. They should have filmed it as well. That's what they should have done with that shit. But like I said to you, Nuruddin, it ain't going to change. Nothing's going to change just like that. It's not going to change because at the end of the day, we are in a country with significant racist history that ain't going away just like that. It's not going to go away for a long time.
Yeah. Structural. I mean, it's structurally, institutionally.
Institutional. Yeah. I remember the Max Ferguson report. This is not going away. I'm old enough, I'm cynical to know that when I get change, I know it's going to be when I'm gone. It ain't going to be when I'm around.
You know what, Efan? You know what? Listen, even some of the audience here watching tonight, I know we're going on too long, but you know, I don't usually get this panel, and that's why we're continuing. I wanted to cut this for an hour, but we're way beyond an hour and 40 minutes at the moment. But you know what? The last 5 minutes we'll wrap it up, people. But because a lot of you are staying with us still, you know what I mean? We've got 70 people still watching, so we've got to go into this, because we've got to have these conversations. These conversations are difficult to have, people. But I always said, if I ever do a YouTube channel, I am never going to shy away from these. I don't care who subscribes or who doesn't subscribe. I'm not asked about that. I'm asked about truth and justice, people. That's what it's all about. But I just want to say, and come to it, that the fact that it's deeply troubling. Like, honestly, genuinely, it's like such a little small symbol as just taking a knee, knowing that all it's doing is starting conversations. Taking a knee is basically so that, like, young people with their parents can speak and go, Mom and Dad, what's going on? You know what I mean? You know, what's going on with their guardians going, what's going on? Why? And then, young kids copying what professional footballers do. 5-year-olds getting on their knee, you know what I mean? Holding their salute, doing that empowerment to young black and people of color, especially. Doing that. It's about those conversations. We know they don't really care. FA, Premier League, you know what I mean? Professional footballers, they don't really give a damn. They don't. Because they inadequately, they don't even fund the Kick It Out campaign or show racism the red card. Both of these organizations were grassroots organizations. Both of them were brought on board amongst these top football authorities and just giving lip service. That's why it's 1 day or 2 day. You know what I mean? It's same with the rainbow, what's it called? Rainbow colors or rainbow laces. It's exactly the same, you know, making awareness of, you know what I mean? LGBT plus.
Yeah, they're trying to make it aware, but how many, again, it's the same thing with the whole racism, the whole the whole obviously social media movement about her game too as well. But at the end of the day, women are still getting abused.
Of course. On tonight here, we clearly saw that.
Exactly. Exactly. How many footballers? Do you know what's so crazy? Obviously, Troy Deeney come out and say, and I agreed with it. There is at least one gay footballer in every single team. Yeah, like at one out of the starting 11. There's one gay footballer, but they'll never come out because at the end of the day, they know they're gonna get slated. They know they're gonna get ripped apart because
history's not on their side with that one, is it?
Social, which is absolutely crazy, and the ones who have been brave enough to have been
just in
we know what's happening.
Been absolutely demonized, or they've had to do it after they've retired from football because that's the safest place to do it.
Listen, the last gay footballer to come out was literally because of tabloids, because of the media and the racism, because of the intersection that he was a gay black man, a very talented footballer. Irfan would remember more because I wasn't even alive. You know what I mean?
I remember well.
In the 70s. You know what?
Shanu, innit?
His brother was John, played for Wimbledon. He played for Norwich.
Yeah.
He was incredible left-footed play, incredible. He used to score incredible goals, but his own brother came after him. His own brother sort of disowned him when he came out as being gay. It was
and he still denies it to this day that Justin was.
Did you ever see that? Actually, did you ever see that documentary that his daughter made? No, he's just John Fashionu's daughter made. It's one of the most honestly incredible documentaries. So John Fashionew was the brother of Justin Fashionew. Justin Fashionew was the player who after he retired, he came out as gay. As a footballer, they were both adopted, and they were both in the 70s. In the 60s and late 60s and 70s, they were both adopted, both taken to white parents. You know what I mean? God only knows what happened to them. Do you know what I mean? In terms of cultural reference and what happened to them, because in the area they lived and stuff. But they had this rough upbringing. Both of them fought to play football. Both of them talented footballers. Justin, by far, one of the most talented footballers Britain ever produced, right? Britain ever produced, literally skill all day. He was basically like Regis, you know what I mean, but more skillful Regis, you know what I mean, more skillful.
It was closer to a guy called Liam Brady, Arsenal's guy. He had this beautiful, sweet left foot, you know, way ahead of the game, you know.
Yeah, but basically, what happened was that he as he retired, obviously he struggled with his sexuality. Obviously, racism in football was absolute rife. Bananas throwing at him, his own players calling him a monkey, all of the managers literally disparaging him, saying that he can't play in winter. You get on the wing, you know what I mean? That's what it was. You're fast, you're black, get on the wing, because you stay away from central areas, because you couldn't be a centre midfield player, you couldn't be a centre half, you couldn't be a central striker because you're too thick to hold those positions. That's what it was. Facts here, facts. I know I sound like I'm giving a lecture, but just giving the people information, right? And basically, towards the end of his career, the Sun newspaper used him. The Sun newspaper was using him to basically blow up that whole homophobic campaign. The Sun newspaper, all tabloid, but especially the Sun newspaper, was using him to basically out Tory gay men, Tory or powerful gay men in certain, whether it's media, in politics, mainly in politics. They used Justin Fashanu, and at the end he was quite broke because footballers didn't get paid a lot of money. So he would sometimes for money do that, but at the end it drove him. I mean, the alienation and everything. He killed himself. The BBC about maybe 4 or 5 years ago did a fantastic documentary, right? Where because John Fashanu has got a mixed heritage daughter, so her mama is Spanish, and her mother and Justin Fashanu, the late great Justin Fashanu, had a fantastic relationship, and because obviously, despite what his brother thought about him, thought about the fact that
she loved him.
John Fashanu's daughter, who's mixed heritage, made a documentary, and it is one of the most incredible. Talk about having a difficult situation. Incredible young woman puts it on her dad on camera, puts it on her dad on camera, and says, "Where were you? Why did you?" And John Fashanu is there, didn't know where to put his face. Absolutely exposed the absolute horrendousness homophobia is. It exposed everything. So those of you can find it definitely. I'll try to find it. I'll put it on my Twitter later on if I can find it. But it might be on YouTube.
Tag me in it as well.
Yeah.
It's incredible. You have to watch it. It's absolutely
Rachel, how much did you know about Justin Fashanu's story?
My dad told me about him.
Yeah,
my dad did, because when I came out, and like my dad's not the most talkative of people. When we did have conversations and stuff, he used to speak to me about things like that, and he spoke about Justin as well, because not only was he a gay man, but he was also a black man, and he was speaking to me about the abuse and about how a certain manager shunned him, spoke very poorly about him. A very loved manager in this country, by the way.
Yeah. Brian Clough.
Not a bad word is said about that guy in the media, even though he has a lot to sort of take the blame for in terms of how he dealt with things. But no one's going to say anything about him, are they? But yeah, no, I do know quite a lot about it. But I've not heard of the documentary though. I like to watch that.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm gonna find a documentary. I'm gonna definitely watch it. Mundo, do you remember watching that documentary? Did you see that? Actually, it was really interesting because she basically wrote to a lot of footballers to talk about homophobia, to talk about homophobia and within professional football. I think there was a couple of players who said they'll talk to her, and last minute they backed out because they didn't want to be accused of being gay. And actually, it was quite surprising. Joey Barton was the only one of the players who spoke to her. Joey Barton. And it was, honestly, regardless of what you say about Joey Barton, but he's a maverick. He's a maverick.
Yeah, he
He spoke to her and he was like, yeah, there are gay footballers. Everybody knows.
I think he was brave enough to do it because he's been obviously dragged through the press as well for different people, where like just literally like demonized and put out to be that bad boy in football. So I think he knows what it's like to be on the receiving end. So I think he knows that this is a conversation that needs to be had. So big ups to Joey Barton in it.
Yeah.
Do you know who else? Graham Lasseau, the one that we used to play for from Chelsea. He used to get a lot of abuse, and he used to get called all sorts of slanderous names, like gay slanderous names and stuff like that. Even though I don't think he is gay, but he used to be treated as if he was.
It was Robbie Fowler, actually. You know what? There was a spat between him and Robbie Fowler. It was a famous spat between him and Robbie Fowler. And Robbie Fowler was making those in windows. Making like saying that you're this, you're that, because he was quite. That's how toxic masculinity works. People is that actually because he was quite well educated and soft spoken. Graham Lasseau, right? That's what he was. He was called like he was gay, basically, because the fact that he happened to be like quite educated. I think he might have gone to a public school. You know what I mean? Like Lampard, but nobody would call Lampard insinuating Lampard because Lampard was a darling in it of the nation. but it just shows you.
And he sounds, and when Lampard speaks, he sounds like a proper East End lad, isn't it? So,
Yeah, of course. Even though he's one of the most toxic Tories in this country, man, absolute Tory. That's why I was feeling a bit. I was like, nah, I don't feel sorry for a Tory, mate. Nah, no way, no way, mate.
But Nerdy, let me just make a point. In the Justin Fashanu, John Fashanu thing, the other thing was the fact that John played for Wimbledon, which was called the Crazy Gang. It was the most macho football team. What's it called? Is it Vinnie Jones was the main guy in the team? So it was the most macho team that John Fashanu played for. So that's what made the whole thing quite sort of,
very toxic. Very toxic. Yeah. I mean, there's a famous photo of Vinnie Jones. Basically, those of you who don't know, you just Google Vinnie Jones and Gaza, and it'll tell you what kind of a player Vinnie Jones was. Vinnie Jones and Gaza, and you'll see how rough football was in this country.
Used to grab him by the balls.
In the 80s and 90s. He's literally got hold of his tackle and squeezing it, and you can see the photo. Like all he says, like, people say that the famous quote in it. A picture tells speaks 1,000 words in it. Literally, Gaffer's face is something to behold. You know what I mean? The way he's cowering like that, screaming. Where Vinnie Jones has got hold of him.
That was common back then, Nerdy. That was common. Sadly, it's true, but it was common back then. It was a very rough game back then.
Listen, that's what it's been, people. Absolutely. It's been a fantastic show tonight, honestly. But listen, I'm going to get predictions quickly before we go. Rachel, Turkey, Wales, can Turkey turn it around? This young Turkey team, can they come to light and turn it around tomorrow?
I'm going to go for a score draw. Maybe 2-2. I think they'll both try and go for it, and then there'll be mistakes and it will just end up in a draw. That's what I think will happen.
Lamy.
Kabak's in the back, isn't he? 2-1 to Turkey. I think they're both going to go for it. Yilmaz brace.
Rachel, just coming back to you, do you think because of the way we gassed Italy up, because of that impressive playing at home for the first game, do you think Switzerland might come out the blocks and shock them tomorrow, or do you think that's a straight Italian win?
From what I saw, I think that if Switzerland can try and find a way to get in behind, because they do leave space Italy, it's just Turkey didn't try to exploit it. For whatever reason. If they can try and get in behind, maybe they might be able to nick something. But I think Italy will control the game. Will try to control the game again. So it's about picking your moments, isn't it? Really, which you can do against a team like Italy. You can just pick your moments and just hope that you can try and get something on the break or something. So just
I'm going to agree with Lamy and say 2-1 to Turkey, and the Italy-Switzerland game. Yeah, I mean, what's the combined age of Italy's centre halves? Is it like 99 or 100?
80. Silver frame. Listen, they've got literally his dad's army at the back in it. Dad's army.
So I mean, Embolo's a bit of a handful, isn't he? So,
he is. He's got pace.
Yeah. So if they can get the ball up to him, I mean, he caused Wales all types of problems, isn't he?
Exactly. Yeah. You know what? Don't be shocked tomorrow. Do not be shocked tomorrow if Locatelli drops deep to basically look after him. Don't be shocked tomorrow when Locatelli playing a bit more deeper tomorrow. Do not be shocked. And Barella, it's really weird the way the system they play, because they play the Roma. And you know what? One thing watching Italy, I was like, thank God that guy got injured against United, because I don't think we would have gone to a final. Because you know what's his name? The left back. Honestly, the left back.
Oh yeah, he's unbelievable.
He's on a different gravy. That guy needs testing. I want to see what's in the bloodstream, man. He needs testing him. He's definitely needs testing, honestly, because up and down for that 90 minutes, he was up and down. So, Irfan, going to you. What do you reckon of the two games tomorrow?
So, look, I mean, much as I'm down on Turkey, I'm down even less on Wales. So I do think Turkey could sneak that one, because they'll get a lot of grief from home, from the fans. It'll be because they're so fanatical in football. I think they're going to get a big kick up the arse. So I do think they might sneak that one 1-0. The Switzerland-Italy one is an interesting one. Switzerland should lose, but I do rate them to a certain degree. I think they've got potential to cause an upset or maybe even a draw, but we'll see if Italy are the real deal. So I'm going to go for an Italy win, maybe 2-1 I'm going to go for. I'm going to make it a little bit closer than it could be,
I genuinely think that Switzerland are absolutely going to play deeper. really deep and going to try to hit on the counter. That's what they're going to do. I don't know if Verratti's fit. I don't know. Verratti is at a very injury-prone season with PSG. So he's not, even when he's come on and played, he's never looked the same player because he's not 100% fit. It's like Hazard for Belgium, you know what I mean? He doesn't look fully fit. So it's going to be very, very, very interesting.
Hazard's about to be shadowed by his little brother, isn't it?
Yo, you see that?
Big up Thorgan.
You see that? Brother's like, yo, hold my beer, sit down, yeah? Just take a chill, old man, yeah? Take a chill.
Crazy to think that. Crazy. We talk about Eden Hazard, one of the greatest players of the last decade. I can't believe it. I still cannot believe what I see when I see that guy for Real Madrid. I can't believe it.
Yeah, those injuries screwed him over so much.
Lamy will tell you, as soon as he started putting on that white shirt, that kid was play for Chelsea, mate. That blue shirt was all about it. He was the king.
Nuruddin, he used to win games single-handedly for Chelsea. He used to win them single-handedly, man.
Imagine.
Lamy, would you have him back? Lamy, would you have him back? Would you have him back?
To win the Champions League?
Would you listen? Seriously, I know. Listen, would you have him back though? Seriously.
As a rotational player, the same way kind of when Drogba came back, like you need to understand your place though. You're not that guy anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like you're still a legend, but you're not that guy anymore. Like we might throw you on for a few Carabao Cup games here. You know them ones. But like if you really want to come home, but
playing against Arsenal,
he's not the same player. Like we're not paying more than like 15 million for him.
I'm sorry to say, guys, but Hazard is, for me, I think he's finished. He's finished. I think, look, even in his best shape, that man still had the biggest ass I've ever seen on a footballer, right? Massive ass. Since he's gone to Madrid, right, and he started eating all the paella,
mate.
His stomach is out of control.
Paella. We call it paella, mate.
Paella. And the thing is, he's short, isn't he? He's got his short, low gravity, stocky, whatever. And it's like Wayne. He's like kind of Wayne Rooney kind of guy. Like if he don't keep himself in shape, he's like Ricky Fatton, isn't he? So and that's
listen. Mundo's basically saying paella and the San Miguel's in it. He's been on too many San Miguel's in it in the sun.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that slimline big butt Hazard.
You know what?
He's gone.
Almost a decade in the UK. Man turned like went about Brit like a total Brit abroad, innit? Get that paella, whatever it's called, paella. Get that on there. Get us another San Miguel one in there.
Egg and chips.
But seriously, Lamy, I gotta say, as me thinking, I'm asking Lamy, I can't get even the question out. And I'm like, Lamy, this is a Chelsea legend. Will you have him back? Lamy's like, nah. And Lamy doesn't even throw him under the bus. She's like, she throws one of the legends of Chelsea. The reason why Chelsea have so many fans in the continent of Africa is because of Didier Drogba. The man who literally stopped civil wars taking place. The man that's got that much, street cred. And Lamy's like, Drogba knew where he's placed. Hazard's got that's what Lamy, trust me. You know what? There were 2 decades ago, I used to talk like you because I had Fergie. You know what I mean? And I had a football structure at my club. And I had ballers. So when Beckham left, I'm like, see you later, Beckham. You're not all that anymore. Coming in, you know what I mean? When Keno's left, I'm like, see you later, Keno. You know what I mean? Scholes is going to take the mantle anyway. You got Nicky Butt still. You know what I mean? Saying all these things. I'm like, see you later, this player. See you later, Van Nistelrooy. You know what I mean? Rooney's going to come 18 years old. He's going to score a hat-trick in the first game of the Champions League. So I was like that. I used to be like you. I miss that arrogance. I genuinely miss that arrogance.
You know what? Like listening to this, I'm remembering like how many ballers Manchester United.
Oh my!
This is why they were like dominating football. Like when you think of those names, that's crazy. Like I almost forgot about Van Nistelrooy. Wow! Like my goodness.
We got rid of Sam. Let's be real. We got rid of Sam, and he was one of the best defenders in the world.
Not
even in the league, in the world.
My favorite defender ever for Man United is Jaap Stam. My favorite ever.
Yeah.
So and we got rid of him.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's a big Dutch man. Get past him if you can. Try a little trick. He make you look up. Yep, Stam. That's how it went. The man had his own, like that used to absolutely what I'm talking about. That used to go around the whole Trafford, everybody singing it. I remember it distinctly. Me and Mighty Mundo raving garage. I think we went to London. I don't know. Was it in Manchester? Or did we go to Leeds or Sheffield? I think it was either Sheffield or Leeds because I don't think the drive back was that long. We went to a rave. We are absolutely raved out. We get up in the afternoon. News of the world. Boom. Shocking. Yip Yap Slam sold. Manchester United. Absolutely. My heart fell out of my backside. I swear to God, I'm telling you now. My heart fell out of my backside and I'm like, that's us done. But I was like, that's us not going to another Champions League final ever again. On that reign, I was like, that 99 team is done. Yip Yap just sold like that, straight away sold.
But and we replaced him with Laurent Blanc, and not prime Laurent Blanc.
Oh, yeah.
35-year-old, couldn't even get into Inter's team. Zimmer frame Laurent Blanc, right? And we're getting torn up by Newcastle, and Duncan Ferguson was bullying us and all this type of stuff because we sold Stam, and Stam, in terms of United defenders, that guy, he had everything. Pace, power, position. Everything. He was just
a beast. He was the beast. He was just unbelievable.
How do I do a comparison? What was that New Zealand rugby player called? What was he called? John
Olomu.
He had that John Olomu energy. If you know what, strikers will come, like sometimes some teams will play two strikers. Sometimes they'll go for the ball. Stam used to just grab their heads and slam them together, slap them up. And literally he used to throw people on the floor. And what are you saying?
You remember his shoulder charge when he used to hit someone? God. Oh my God, it was sad watching it. You hit his shoulder, you literally bounced off it. It was crazy watching it. It was absolutely crazy.
Honestly. And you know the crazy thing about it? Honestly, we knew straight away that every time, when we played, honestly, in that 99 team, you conceded a lot of goals. Because teams worked out. If you draw him out to the sides, like to the top line, and then you cross the ball in. That was it. United were going to concede. So all the time, I used to scream at games, Stam, stay in the middle, don't take the bait, don't go out. Every time he went out, always, every time where a striker sometimes used to map, would almost kind of play, like go and play it down the channel. Soon as he went out to the channels, the ball gets whipped in. That's it, a goal. Honestly, Stam was an absolute... And all because, I tell the people, the viewers here, I don't know, some of you don't know. He basically wrote in his book, right, that Fergie told them to dive. Fergie said to them, these players in the Champions League, Fergie was like, listen, these teams in the continent are diving. We have to dive as well. He was telling the strikers to dive. Soon as he said...
And the tapping up as well. They met in a service station, apparently.
I just looked up because obviously in 1999 I was 4, so I looked up the United 1999 squad, and this is just a team of absolute ballers. I'm like, no wonder you guys won the league. Like, who was competing with you guys in those days? Like, wow. Obviously,
the season after we were better.
Yeah, you know the funny thing, underachieved next season. We won the league on the last game against Spurs. Against Spurs. But because we were so focused on the Champions League, we were so focused in the cups, because we were just, that team, we didn't score that many goals, but we were just not beaten. We had this thing where we scored so many late goals, and because he kept rotating, because it was something new in it. Sometimes he'll give Dwight or Andy Cole like 50 or 60 minutes, take them off Sheringham and Solskjaer. Change the formation. At times, I remember Villa, we played, was it against Arsenal? You look at the starting 11. Giggs was on the bench. Scholes, one of the... I was like, what the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on here? So, Fergie was on it on the early age of the rotation. He was rotating a lot of players and putting a lot of trust in a lot of players. When I look at it, it wasn't the first 11. It was the squad that won the treble. It wasn't. Yeah. A team, first 11 could never win the treble. Never. It was a squad that won the first treble. But yeah, Yip Stam, he also talked about, like Mundo said, about how Fergie tapped him up. You know what I mean? The tactics he used. But to me, it was one of those big things. And I was in a shock. And then, like Mundo said, Laurent Blanc, which is a has-been, came in. and we started conceding goals. I remember Newcastle, what Newcastle did to us, what Alan Shearer did to Roland Brandt.
Was embarrassing. And you know what?
Wasn't that the 5-0 one?
One guy who was part of the 99 team who I think was very underrated. And every time I think about this guy, Ronnie Johnson, I think, but for injuries, he would have been immense. He's another guy who had everything in his game. He was so composed on the ball.
Yeah, he was very ice cold. Yeah.
Yeah, but his knees, man. He had what did he have? Jumper's knee or something. So he could only play one game every 3 weeks or something. Something like that. So,
yo, guys, we broke the record for the stream on this channel. We've gone over 2 hours. My thoughts on Mbappe. Mbappe does the most difficult thing in world football. The reason why Messi is a genius in football is to beat a player from standing still, standing on the ball still and beating a player. Right. That's what Mbappe does. Mbappe will slow you up, and then he's gone. He is absolutely, he's only 22 still. People are talking about Mbappe like he's 26. Wait till he hits his peak. That's why I pray to the universe, I pray to God that he doesn't get any major injuries, because we've got something to see, guys. Like I said, the most difficult skill in football, in a top level football, is to beat people from standing position. That's what I mean. When you've got the ball standing still, beat somebody. Not when you're running. Anybody can rip people when they're on the run because you're generating speed.
You're building up momentum as well.
Exactly. But from standing still, tonight, the way he faced them up, the way in the box he teased, and then picked his spot, bent it into that corner. I mean, it was given up offside, wasn't it? But yeah, that's Mbappe. You know what? First of all, I want to say thank you so much, guys, because you don't just get football show with us. You get politics, you get justice, human rights, you get everything. And that's how you're going to get in this channel, people. We don't just stick to football. But to be fair, these things are wearing football. We call out the government bodies. We're calling out everything. We're calling out media because we have to tell it as it is. But I'm going to have to say, please check out First 11. Give Rachel a follow on that. The Devil's Avocado. She's opinionated, gives it as it is. Literally just absolutely shredding people on her page. You know what I mean? When I have a look at her, when I see her tweet, just literally telling her as it is. Lammy's new to Twitter. You know what? Check it out. Lammy YouTube. Lammy reacts. Lammy's also on various different channels. She'll tell you all about it herself. But give Lammy a follow as well. And Airfan, obviously, if you want any music and stuff like that, if you want to know anything about Brazilian music, if you want to know anything about jazz, soul, house, you hit them on. And also Mighty Mundo.
African music, Africa.
Yeah, Mighty Mundo.
Fan.
I do. Yeah. It's only heavy politics, my Twitter. So be warned. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. I love politics on Twitter.
Yeah, yo, Lammy's got views as well.
Behind me, this is my next recording. Dub from Jamaica.
Ooh, nice.
Mota Baruka, Jamaican Rasta poet, dub music.
Ooh, I need to listen
only,
to that, especially because summertime's coming.
Yeah. But anyway, Rachel, can you just shout out where else people can catch you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, obviously at the Devil's Avocado. And you can find me on the First XI YouTube channel. We are doing Grounded Football tomorrow, and hopefully Nuruddin can make it as well. So it should be good. And obviously there's the Offside Rule with Lambs on Thursdays. That's a very, very special show.
You know what? I want to be.
I didn't know about that one.
I need to get in on that offside. All sorts of craziness goes on.
Yeah, it's a really good show. And then obviously Friday's Fraud Watch. Yeah, the Offside Rule is a show on Thursdays on First XI. It's a really good show. A lot of good stuff goes on in there. The comments are wild. It's quite
late night. That's why the comments get wild.
Too many San Miguel's in it. Too many San Miguel's. Bit of vodka mixed in there and there, a couple of bottles of wine, and it gets a bit hectic. Lambs, let them know where they can find you as well.
Yeah, let me literally to echo what Rachel said. I'm new to Twitter, like Nordine said. I've been there for 3 weeks as well, and I'm almost at 500 followers. So thank you guys. That is insane. On Instagram as well, at Lami Alma. It's next to my Twitter handle, and Lams Reacts as well on Twitter and on YouTube as well, my YouTube channel. And I also surpassed 300 subs as well on my YouTube channel. So
there we go.
Thank you to everybody for that as well. On the Football Terrace and the Midnight Vibe show. basically here, there, and everywhere. I watched the England and Croatia game with like Poet and Vuj on like their watch along as well. I watched it.
Oh, wicked.
That was absolute vibes as well. GNA TV, the ladies show there, the Offside Rule. I do a show with Shah on her channel as well. Literally just everywhere, basically.
Sarcasm City for the politics as well.
Oh, yes, Sarcasm City for what's politicking you off as well. We do that bi-weekly on Saturdays afternoon. So make sure you check all of those things out and subscribe to all of those channels. And this one, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mighty Mundo, you need to get on that Twitter. I mean, start tweeting, but Mighty Mundo's got 2 toddlers, terrible 2s, you know what I mean? People who are like, he's got 2 kids and he's there. He's basically, he's over his head in it. It's all, he's in deep waters with 2 little kids, isn't he?
I know, man. I haven't got time for tweeting. I've barely got time for eating, never mind tweeting. So,
You got a multitask.
what's that, sorry?
You got a multitask.
Yeah, he has to.
I've got a multitask, yeah.
Age as well. That's because they're so active. Like once they start walking,
Yeah, it's finished.
I'm telling you, you know what? The theory goes that toddlers have the same energy as Usain Bolt. No, seriously, that's what scientists say. Yeah, that we've got the same amount of energy as an elite athlete, and I'm no elite athlete, right? Put it that way, and I have to keep up with them every day. So when I get on Twitter, I will get on Twitter. I will tweet.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can.
You're like Fred marking Grealish.
But you can catch him on here. You can definitely catch him on here.
Can we just answer Wendy's question? She goes, "Have I seen the cricket documentary Fire in Babylon about the West Indies cricket team?" You don't understand that I could probably write a book about that documentary. So having seen that, because football is your sport, cricket's mine. So, but we won't go there.
And especially when you talk about the 70s and 80s Windies team, then then you talk
the greatest sporting team ever, in my opinion. So But a Trini woman is asking me about coincidence cricket. A Trini woman, is asking me. That's why I say Fire in Babylon. It's on YouTube. You should watch it because what they did, they had to change. They changed the rules. They changed the rules to stop West Indies winning.
Of course, racism is ganging up on them, obviously. But you know what, Windy? Shout out Windy. Windy, we're gonna hopefully do in a couple of days' time. We're gonna do another phone-in show. So please make sure you tune in.
Yeah,
Windy, the US originally from Trinidad. Yeah. Windy was asking me before, have I been watching the Copa America? 100%. Last night, I watched the absolute scintillating game last night on the BBC iPlayer, most of it. I watched Argentina, Chile, and it was a rollback. They roll back the years.
Paraguay. It was Paraguay, right?
No, it was Chile. It was Chile. Chile, Argentina last night, and what a game it was.
They won. They beat
Venezuela, and I missed the Chile, Argentina. I missed it.
Chile, Argentina rolled back the years last night. The level of intensity and press, nobody was giving an inch. Absolute tackles, two-footed honestly, madness was going on. Argentina had the better chances, missed them. Chile on the counter, dangerous, 1-1. Game finished 1-1. And it was honestly, I was tired, and that game brought me back to life. Trust me. I was thinking, I'm nodding up on the couch like that, when you're going. I'm like, what? I started rubbing my eyes, got a cup of tea, herbal tea, and I'm like, wow. Honestly, I was blown away by it. You might be able to catch it on that BBC iPlayer. The intensity in play, the pressing, the absolute and the majority of the old players still rolling back the years, people. Rolling back the years. Absolutely brilliant game of football.
In that temperature as well, in that heat as well, Nuruddin.
Yeah. And it's in Brazil. It's weird. Yep. Brazil has the highest death rate and highest Rona rates. And then they moved it from Argentina, took it to Brazil. It's absolute madness. It's absolute
madness. They took it away from Colombia.
Yeah, they took it from Colombia as well. Yeah.
Guys, pay attention to the subtle ways the government is trying to reduce our population.
Of course, people. Of course, people. Listen, anyway, love from every one of you. Like I said, tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be on Grounded. Is that Grounded? I'll be on Grounded on first 11. So catch us on there. And I'll be on the watch-alongs with Saeed. And I might just do even maybe a show on Thursday. Looking forward to it. So hopefully, I can still get you guys back. Building up to the England Scotland game. You know what I mean? Because Scotland have to go for it now. No, Scotland can't sit back. And we already seen goal of the tournament. Ain't nobody going to score better.
Billy
And the man's name is, you know what?
Lost.
Listen, the man's name is pronounced as sick. That was a sick chip, mate. I don't care what anybody says. Sick. I'm telling you, I don't know what he was on, but he was on something to try it from like 50 yards. You've got to give it him. You've got to give it him. But anyway, we'll go with this last comment on here. My mother stopped and watched Brazil versus Venezuela with me for 5 minutes, and she said, "This ain't Brazil team." They'll be playing.
Yeah, how the mighty have fallen, I tell you.
Wow.
No. It's a very average Brazilian
like
team,
that.
I must
Wow.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
your
very
mom's
average,
really
very average.
Yeah. Chic. That's how you pronounce it. Big up Ramadinho. Chic.
Yeah.
Chic. I'm dyslexic. I pronounce it as sick, mate. He's not feeling well anyway. He needs two of me. He needs two of me. Two of Anadine will be all right on the night. Anyway, peace, love, light, always, people. It's been a wonderful show. It's always a wonderful show to have Rachel and Lambs, to have women here represented, you know what I mean, giving it their opinion. And it's just, you know what, check them out on Twitter, check them out on their YouTube channels, and give them a follow and listen to their expertise football, man. And here we give it, like we said, big up to Julie. Ollie juice, no Ollie juice tonight. I've done the show 2 hours without anything tonight, you know what I mean? That's how I've done it. Anyway, peace, love, light, win, lose, draw, Glazers out. Glazers
Always
out.
Glazers out.
Always Glazers out.
And Ollie out?
No, we're not, because you know what? It's bigger than Ollie. It's the structure before Ollie, because we don't trust this structure to get rid of the manager and to hire a proper manager and to build the team around them. We don't. So for me, I'm no longer the manager. The manager could be anybody. It's the people above. It's the bankers out.
Gary Neville.
Bankers out. I don't know about that. That's a bit of a low blow, Rachel, but we'll let it go. We'll let it go. Peace, love, light, like I said, people. Keep it locked to United Central. Sorry, not United Central. See, I'm getting a bit too good. United Real Therapy, people. Therapy Army. Hit and subscribe. Please like and share. On your way out, smack that button, that like button, like you're slapping Avram Ghan's ball patch there. You know what I mean? Give him a slap at the back, around the head, mate. That's what you need to do. Slap like you're slapping Joe Glazer's face, mate, or any of the Glazers. You can choose. How many? There's about 5 or 6 of them. Choose anyone you want. Figuratively, give them a slap on that like button. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Therapy Army, social justice warrior. Saying it with our chest, people. We're saying it with our chest. Peace.
Slap like the bunda.